options. I didn't know then, but we took every precaution. Now you're holding back, but I can hear the pain underneath your breath. I can feel the shame running through your head. I just wanna stop it. I just wanna stop it. Where do you turn when you need someone? Where do you hide when you just can't run? Where do you go when you have no home? When you have no hope? What do you do when you're losing sleep? You realize
Meow.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Titan After Dark. My name is Goldyn, and I very obviously have strep throat, but this guy over here, he has cancer.
Were you talking to me? I'm sorry. I'm just reading my book here, "The Secret Life of Bees." Let me just put it in my tote bag real quick. Oh, it has a really cool Year of the Rabbit design. Yeah, I'm Goldengad. I may or may not have cancer, apparently. And that's Goldyn. And we're ready to get into this thing. But first, let me get a sip of my matcha.
Also, I will be holding up important signs to save my voice because somehow the summer sickness do have gotten me, and I do actually have strep throat. I love Goldengad. He's being a little dirtbag right now, but
Whoa,
I actually have strep throat.
whoa! Sounds
So
like
the signs it is. But
someone's got a frog in their throat. That's weird. Either way. The reason I'm like this today is because obviously I heard that some teams decided to show up and perform last week because, of course, it was finals. So here I am being the most performative I could possibly be to kind of match that spirit. Yeah, I mean, I, if there's anyone more performative than me from last week, I'd be surprised, to be honest.
ugh, Goldengad, you're putting a tarnish on the golden name. I'm sorry, buddy. You're going to have to be executed via the pair of anguish. I could tell that you don't know what that is.
Not at all.
By so this might get us banned from Twitch. It is a little object that you put
Okay.
inside the mouth or the butt and it explodes.
Hmm. It's like putting a. I maybe shouldn't go there. Yeah, we'll just move on.
With
It
that,
goes in very targeted locations though, and there's another thing that okay, well, okay.
with that great topic of conversation ended, we're gonna get into our top clips. These are from the last few weeks of finals. Now, some of our Titan leagues ended last week, some ended this week. We've done our best to farm the best clips from all of the finals combined. So we've got from Gladiator, from the stream finals, all the way up to Immortal today. So we're gonna run through some of the best stuff today. Wookie, can you take us away, please?
Let's get into it.
Okay, no, we're not going anywhere. So back onto the pair of anguish. So this is a torture device. That's
My preferred torture device is the dripping water, the Chinese dripping water technique. Have you heard of this one?
I have heard of that one. It's a bit too slow for my taste. I
So
prefer
guillotine then?
no, I'm more of like I guess I'm trying to think of another good torture method. The only reason I know about torture methods is because I've been watching that girl on TikTok who
Only
reviews
reason.
the I've been watching this girl on TikTok who reviews what people bring to potlucks, and then she, like, says if it's good,
Oh, I've heard
you
about
know
this.
what I'm talking about,
Yeah, I
okay?
actually
So if
do know
it's good,
exactly who you're talking about.
she'll be like, "We'll plant 20 trees in your honor, keys to the city." But if it's bad, she'll be like, "The pair of anguish for you and your Uber driver," and
I think
that's.
I heard that and I didn't know what that was at all. So
I'll
I
send
just
you a
like
link
went on.
after. That's what it is.
Need to do some studying for certain reasons.
I would be really careful googling it because it is disgusting.
Caught.
All right, yay, clips! No more pair of anguish.
I feel like the more you say it, just the worse it gets. But as you can see, we're getting right into it here. I got no idea what I'm looking at, but looking like this Ash is just farming.
So
High
it's
key.
called Angel of Death, and the Ash's name is Angel. So we're looking at a triple kill Ash, and she's playing the Angel Reaper skin, or whatever that one is, the High Noon one, where she's
High noon.
robotic angel. Yeah. She's just going crazy here. I mean, it's depressing because you can see Dilly on the backside playing Varus, who I think is one of the few ADCs that can really go head to head with Ash because he can just outburst her before she slows, but he just doesn't even get a chance. Just absolutely goes crazy here.
Yeah. I mean, another thing I'd like to point out is I kind of want to watch the Cassiopeia here. I think does 1, 2, 3 E's and walks away. Giga Chad. Just completely unbothered.
And if
Didn't even take any damage. Flashes away too. Why not?
If you notice, this team is XSV Rush, which I believe is one of our champions from the split.
Conquer Diamond 4 cap. So they did actually end up taking it, and I could see why. Let's just say it, put it that way. I could see why.
Yes, so the other team, the Elysium team, they are some of my favorite people in the scene, so it's hard for me. The funny thing is both of these teams pay me to do graphics work for them. So it's fun watching this, but
hey, at least you got that big payout from the championship graphic they paid you to make.
I got a text this morning that says, "Can I put in another order?" So you know.
It seems like there's a conflict of interest here. It's kind of weird betting on both sides.
So, anyways, great work from this team. I'm excited to see XSV is a newer organization, but they've got a lot of good players. You see Rutledge here. You see a lot of players on this team that have been in the scene previously. So I'm interested to see if this team makes any kind of rendition to the next split. Let's go ahead on to the teamwork clip.
T is for teamwork, but we're not there yet. So
my bad.
Excuse me, sorry, I was just taking another sip of my matcha real quick.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I mean, hey, this is what happens. I'm watching these sick performances. I gotta keep up my own current appearance.
He readjusts the bag. You guys can't see it, but he's adjusting the tote bag on his shoulder so delicately. Put him in Bridgerton.
It holds the very precious book. That's the only thing in there, by the way, just that book. But that's what is being held up inside there. So just, it has a purpose. It's not just purely performative. Okay.
I think it's funny. Have you ever seen those TikTok trends where the girl and the guy go out to dinner and the girl pretends she's going to pay and then he goes, no, don't worry, I've got it. She opens her purse and it's just lip gloss. That's you, but in your bag is just a book that you don't read.
I love the secret life of bees. I saw chapter 3 starts with the word Shakespeare. I don't got anything else for you. I'm not gonna lie. There was also another page that spelled out daddy vertically, and then each letter has a descriptor of something she's mad about her dad about, something like that. I mean, hey, honestly, it's just beautiful writing.
Okay, back to this clip. Not that that's not important. It's not. But back to this clip. I just want to say, I think it's really interesting because I can't tell. I mean, you can see XSV's already got one of the games in this series, right? And I can't imagine getting wiped like this and actually feeling confident and coming back. Maybe I just have a weak sense of, comeback power, but they've already got down one game and you're seeing this ADC go absolutely crazy. And I don't know if there's, I think Elysium takes back one game, but it's just still such a hard place to be in.
I always think the most demoralizing thing is when you have CC champions and you just start missing all those abilities. I think that's when you feel like you're out of it. But here we are, another XSV versus Elysium clip. It seems to be going in the similar direction.
It looks like this is the first game. I can't quite tell because the ovals are a little bit hidden. But you know what depresses me is getting Malzahar ulted ever. Anytime that I see Malzahar in my game, I want to kill myself. And I play mid lane, so that's a pretty common occurrence these days. He's fucking S tier right now in solo queue. So this is just all around played very, very well. A full team comp. And it just, from the last clip to this clip, it seems like XSV have a very solid, and no wonder they won championships. They've got a good team composition and they know what they want to do.
I mean, sometimes it's just as simple as click R multiple times. So you saw there, Jinx, really good R there. Malzahar, really good R. And then, of course, Jarvan on top, really good R. They really just outskilled them at all aspects of the video game right here. I mean, I can't really say much more. Oh, Zyra, too, on top of it. Why not? Everyone just gets their piece of the pie.
The bush cheese. I haven't gotten to watch it, but I've heard about this.
Okay, got a 5v5. They're creeping around the corner. What's gonna happen? Okay, Galio gets kind of knocked up. Okay, they're kind of walking around. Okay.
Do you know how depressing that is to lose a 5v5 bush cheese with Nautilus? That's just got to be some of the most depressing moments of your life, especially in a final series. I would be shocked.
Okay. To be fair, though, they walked in with Jarvan level 1, Like, that might be one of the most useless level 1 champions in the game. I dropped a flag, I did 50 damage. Oh my god, my AD carry's attack speed went from, like, 2 autos a second, like 2 autos every 2 seconds to, like, 1.8 autos per second. Something really good, It's so insane. And then on top of that, you're walking into Galio. So let's say you don't CC the Galio there, you might just all die, to be fair. So honestly, hey, I don't know the red team because their names are blurred out / covered up. So I could flame all I want. Just kidding. These
Wookie, can you
players.
move it down for us slightly
Oh.
so we can see the team names?
I can't flame. Whoa.
Nope, it's cut off from the clip, is it? Oh, it's monkeys. Okay.
Well,
Makes
monkeys end
sense.
up winning this. So spoiler alert. Level 1 goes wrong, you'll lose the
That
game.
happened over a week ago.
I
think
mean,
this is so funny to me, truly, because I'm trying to think of other useless level 1 champions, but I mean, yeah, you've got a good point. Like, yeah,
he's not even a ranged champion. If he was a ranged champion, at least he has the auto range advantage. But I mean, he's got like a cool passive, but like he's never autoing in this scenario.
Yeah, I
Maybe he walks closer and body blocks for Nautilus. Hey, that's something. Your HP bar's a resource. Never forget that.
That's fair.
That's just unfortunate. Okay.
We have a tiny version of this clip. I'm sure we'll get a replay of this when it's bigger in a second.
Oh, here we go.
This is called No Way, so I have a feeling there's the way.
Oh,
I remember watching this. So this is a player submitted clip, which this is my shameless plug that if you guys have clips that you find very exciting, especially if they weren't on the streamed matches, please submit them to Titan After Dark. Otherwise, we do all this clip farming, and sometimes we miss this fun stuff if it's not on stream that week. I have to know for a fact that the teammates of this way were moaning viciously in his ear, hyping him up, saying, "Oh, I'm playing with the actual faker. Oh."
I don't know if we could say that on. Well, they said it, so you're just being the mouthpiece right now.
I am. I know this for a fact, which is great. Hype up your team, but the moaning was a little. I don't know this team, but it just felt so funny to me.
Just call him daddy while you're at it. My God.
He's really giving him the 360 booty wiggle over here. Like he's just not even giving him a chance. This Fortune thinks she did something and flashes away from the way QW and then still just gets bossed around the corner.
I think the cough there was intentional.
No, it wasn't.
What were you trying to?
I actually had to.
Oh no, I'm sure, but there was something in the deep conscious of your mind that you wanted to say that the cough held back. Just know that.
Yeah, you learned that in The Secret Life of Bees?
There's a lot of things I've learned from The Secret Life of Bees. You'll be surprised.
All right, Herald Tragedy. I'm ready for this.
All right, here we go. We got Herald. Okay, so somebody's gonna take this Herald. Is that the AD carry? You never want to see the AD carry take it because they don't have a driver's license.
And gets his entire team killed. That's tough. And it's Dorado, so I don't even feel bad about it.
At least he got the turret. The turret went down. Hashtag worth maybe.
Worth maybe? No, hey, it's worth for the other team.
and like
worth
just
for Dorado haters.
Yeah, and just like respect that their team was there to support the AD carry doing something just so blatantly stupid.
Yep, if you're stupid, you don't get to do it alone. I'm gonna be stupid with you.
Yeah, yep. If it was just like the AD carry going down, as long as he doesn't have a shutdown, honestly, worth. Like, okay, somebody has to crash his Herald, right? And they're most likely gonna die because there's a Skarner waiting in the wing, and a Rel, and a Rumble apparently. Okay, everyone is there, like a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate style. But there was still some decision making there that I can kind of get behind.
This thing is so funny because I see like two of the most broken champions right now on the red side of the team, which is Karma and Rumble. And I'm just like, they pulled up in order to just kill them instantaneously. They knew what was going to happen.
I will say this is pre the patch. This is pre the patch that fixed Rumble because he used to do less damage on red side apparently.
Did
Thanks
you
for
see
that.
the? Oh, I'm sorry. This is so not related to this clip. Did you see? Did you see the Silas
Oh, crit
disabled?
Silas.
Oh my Jesus Christ! The Silas is disabled right now because he can do like 7,000 crits right now on the Rift
He got
of League of
hotfixed
Legends.
actually, so he's
Did he today?
fixed now. But I will say he's still good. Like he's still
Well, he was meant to be
50-ish%.
good. They're buffing him. That was
Yeah.
unintentional what the crit was, but
Apparently he always scaled like that with crit. It's just when it was applied with jungle camps, now it's just like the safest build of all time.
right.
Which is just hilarious to me.
Final
And here we have
boss,
another clip.
Baron. Baron takes have been so difficult lately, I feel like in Titan. I feel like every single Baron I've seen taken in Titan has been a fight. There's never been a clean Baron take.
Okay. Yeah, this is just sad. There's no way Raw lives to. Okay. Oh, okay. Actually, what did go down? No flash on the Swain. Ooh. Oh God. Uh-oh. Okay, Victor dies. Okay, honestly, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's like copium, but it's fine.
This
This is
the
from the
same fight.
this is
That
from the
same game,
game.
just earlier in the
I just
either
noticed that
earlier or
too.
later. Yeah, like that. Wait a minute. And this
You're
might have
telling
been
me
the
Dorado after that play somehow ended up with a lead and felt comfortable enough to take Baron, and then died, and then
I
still.
don't know. Somehow wins the series. I could not tell you.
Yeah. I mean, I think they won this game too. I wouldn't even like put it past them.
Jesus Christ. All right, get to Rock Wookie. I don't want to see him anymore.
Whisked away. Unfortunately, there's a lot of Dorado in these clips, I'm sure, just because of the bulk of teams they had.
Not right now, though. Not right now.
Not right now.
BR lover. This guy, this support is crazy. He has got the biggest fucking aura farming I've ever seen.
You always, you bring up like biggest aura farm. I'll never forget when Maokai just flashed in place that one time. That was magical. That was magical.
True,
And
that was magical. Or the Vel'Koz flashing in place.
that,
What was that
yeah,
last
that one
show?
too.
Also magical.
Yeah. So like these are close, but trust me, they got nothing on Maokai ulting and flashing in place. Like there's cinema.
True. I think this is just funny. And so Azir comes in here and kills him. We've seen BR on stream like a lot of times this split, so I feel like I have more context than I do for like other single clips, right? But overall, so this is called the Azir. This is an unofficial penta. So he runs away like a good Azir. I'm gonna say it like Romeo, our one caster, says it.
Chicken.
Azir.
He's a chicken.
He runs away. Not doing a whole lot. I mean, doing damage, but ish. Okay, so he gets two. He's gonna back. He's gonna TP, which is the right play. It's the right play. It's just kind of frustrating to me that it works too. I was in this match too. I was watching this game.
You watch League of Legends? That's so strange.
I produce. I have to. Yeah. I actually show up to my job at Titan Esports.
Whoa, this is very pointed. Sorry, I have a job. That's so
I
weird.
have a job too. All right, so here he comes. He TP's back in. He kills the rest of them. He gets all of them. It's an ace, but it's an unofficial penta. Very nice, very clean work, and just also a good exercise in self-control of not trying to push a fight when he's not full health and doesn't have the abilities that he needs.
Just good display of his ear there. I usually get too hyphy when I play this champion, so you gotta respect the discipline. To be fair, but he let him have him as roosters would. I don't know.
He gave.
Yeah, I somehow your mic censored that, and I'm kind of glad. But we all know what she said. Cock. Just to be clear.
All right, TP out. This is also from that same series. Fun fact. So maybe I'm just an fucking idiot and don't understand why TP is like this now. Because if you knock somebody up, if you stun them, if you rooted them, their TP wouldn't go through. This person is like seconds from death and still gets out. And I get there wasn't any hard CC there, but it's still, I don't know. It's funny. This is a very funny situation because it works and it allows for you to like get out of fights far up in lane where you shouldn't be with a TP because it's so much faster than a base.
Yeah.
I just still don't understand why Riot felt to make this an interaction.
TPs take longer, but you become just invulnerable after like 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds, which is just the time of a Zhonya's, by the way. That's not even that long if you like really think about it. So like using TP as a combat summoner. I mean, there's those videos of like, I don't know if you've seen it, like the Chinese brain rot TikTok videos for League. It's like I flash in place and then I like completely destroyed his mind or whatever, and then like TP's out and then comes back. It actually just TP'd to a minion like 2 feet away. You know, maybe it's viable. Who knows?
I don't know. I think TP's fucked because there was a T1 game, like yesterday or earlier today, where Doran TP'd into a ward, into a Baron fight, and it put him on the opposite wall.
You know, honestly, that would be Doran.
Match.
That would be Doran.
It wasn't him. It was a bug. It was a bug.
No, it would be Doran. Let's be real. Guys had problems with the map collision. He's also had problems with just jungle camps in general. So Baron counts as a jungle camp. If you know, you know.
I don't know.
Hey, no respect or no disrespect.
TP, if you've got any opinions on TP that are right, that you agree with me that TP is fucked right now, put it in the
chat. I kind of agree it's bugged, but it is not deserved. But hey, I love Doran. Hey, same series. BR. I like. Let's pivot a bit. No disrespect.
Yes. I hate Nocturne. I hate the fact that they're buffing him. They're buffing.
They are.
They gave him a little buff, and they gave a buff to his one item. What was it? Experimental Hexblade. God, get this champion.
The only champion that runs that item, and it's inconspicuously getting buffed.
Out of my fucking game. I hate him. I hate him so much. Him and Jarvan being like the 2 strongest junglers in the patch, plus Xin Zhao being a close third, is so frustrating to me. Like, what are you gonna do? I just
permaban Nocturne.
I can't permaban everything. Everyone's fucking playing Mundo then, and then I can't beat that either. And my top laner's like, I will play Singed first pick. Nah, no worries. I can beat a fucking Mundo.
Singed? Oh, dude, I have been seeing Singed. I will say right now, ranked has been fucking miserable. So I really like playing Fiora, and I saw that they announced Victorious Fiora.
We're gonna cut off Goldengad's microphone. He lost the right to speak when he said he chooses to play Fiora. Sorry, everybody in the call.
What's wrong with Fiora? Okay, either way, I like playing Fiora. I saw Victorious Fiora was announced as the Victorious skin, and I haven't played much League of Legends this season. By that I mean I played 0 games of ranked prior to this week. So I decided to hop onto League, and I'm like, okay, I need to get my 15 wins because they changed it from being gold rank or higher to get Victorious skins down to, you just have to win 15 games, which I was like, that's not going to take that long. Unless I just lose all of them. So I'm currently sitting at 0-7. So unless I crank out like 50 games, I am not getting 15 wins at this current rate. And I got like 2 weeks.
I think that you could, you know what, everyone, this is Goldengad's plea to all of you here watching that he needs a boost. We're gonna set up a boosting service for Goldengad.
Unofficial.
So
keep this down low.
He doesn't even want to play in any leagues. He just wants Victorious Fiora. He's a slut for that hoe, and otherwise you're good.
Dude, when she puts on the clout glasses for the prestige skin.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, we're actually going to be reviewing that Fiora skin later on in the show during the fashion show, so stay tuned for that.
Does the fashion show also include the hot spring skins, or was that last time?
It includes the super special toes hot spring Ari skin. It includes the other 2 like fun skins, the bowling ball Lilia one and the toy egg bird one, quirky one. So we've got 4 skins that we're going to be reviewing, but Fiora is one of them. 4, okay. All right. With that, those are our top clips of the split. Remember to keep submitting these. As I mentioned, if you guys have cool stuff that happens outside of the streamed matches for Titan, we don't always get to see those, and therefore they're not on the show. So if you have them, please feel free to submit them. Otherwise, I believe we're going to the news with JBetto and Aussie. Stop shaking your matcha. If I was in that room, it would be all over you. I would have thrown it all over you by this point. But I have been Goldyn. This has been Goldengad. Thank you everyone for joining us, and we're heading over to the news now.
Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final week of our Titan After Dark news. My name is JBetto, joined by Aussie. We have just finished up the Titan Esports finals, and we are here to first of all congratulate the winners. I've got them up right here in the Immortal division. Dorado Gaming Alpha. In Vanquisher, Faceless Insomnia. I have to say that's probably the coolest name on this list. Conqueror is XSV Rush. Olympus, Dorado Gaming Omega. Eternal, Dorado Gaming Iota. Berserker, Monkey Safari, and in Divinity, Conduit Esports first rounded. Congratulations to all the teams that won. Congratulations to all the teams who participated. It was a very fun season. I had a lot of fun, I'm sure. Aussie, you did, and obviously all the casters and production team had a great time. Dorado taking quite a few of the wins. So some dominance from the org.
I mean, this just feels like Dorado split. I mean, also promoting into NACL as well. I mean, what more can you want as an org? I think this split in general for Dorado is probably their best, and might be their best, unless things keep headed this way, which is possible.
Kind of like the NA amateur scene, one team region kind of thing going on. But congratulations to all the teams that played. Hope to see a ton of players, maybe even more players next season. But we have some drafts to talk about. Finals has wrapped up in all of our in all of our divisions for the season. And I have handpicked a couple of drafts from different divisions to talk about that I thought were quite interesting. Let's jump into the first one here. I believe the first one, this is the Immortal Finals. Obviously, Dorado Gaming Alpha taking the W. As you can see, this is the first game of the series. And Oz, what stands out to you from this?
Well, Bard on 3 doesn't miss. Obviously, this is a pretty solid draft here, I think. I don't really like Karma here. I think Karma Blind for Dorado Gaming is just not ideal. Put you in a really weird spot, and then you're playing Karma Caitlyn in the Bard. Doesn't really work for me. Although, I will say DDG's choice to R5 Poppy this game was also... I watched this game, I watched basically every finals game that I could, unless I was casting. And when I was watching this draft, I was kind of intrigued by the Poppy pick. I didn't feel like it was that solid of an answer here, but um,
I mean, it's picked into the Trundle, right?
yeah, right.
Picked
I
it
mean, you
R1,
can just
R2 here.
you could just keeper's verdict someone outright. That's pretty impactful, but in reality, you don't get any value out of your champ. There's just not much for you to really utilize here. But I don't know. I think Bard here was a fantastic answer. You play Ezreal Bard. The problem for
Yeah.
DDG in this draft is they kind of lack any kind of frontline killing. Ezreal's not very great at doing that. Then they pair that with an Ahri. Ahri Poppy also doesn't have that great of synergy together, unless you can find a wall, and then obviously point and click CC for the Poppy. But I think there's a lot riding on the skill for DDG's comp here more than anything. They're just essentially trying to skill gap their opponents, but in this league, you're realistically not skill gapping. That's just not a reality. And we're having a good draft is typically going to put you in a position to win more often than not. And even though Dorado Gaming's bot lane doesn't really mesh well, I think the rest of their comp is fantastic. The Syndra blind is a little worrying, but didn't get punished too hard, right? Because Poppy can get shut down by Scatter of the Weak very easily. That I don't think there's any real kill threat mid unless the Syndra overplays. So I like Dorado's draft here. I think they definitely performed. I mean, Sion's also just probably the best top laner in the game blind, or just at any point, right? I just think this champ is so ridiculous. Also, I want to point out it's not R5 Poppy, it's first pick Poppy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot it's flipped, so.
Yeah,
Even
I took
worse.
the photos just as the draft was completed. But I think, for me, the Karma blind on 3 it is super awkward, especially when you could potentially have taken the Caitlyn on its own first and then ban supports and 4-5 here. Because then you're banning top laners away, which you're very handily opting for a tank with the Vayne and Bessa bans. And I will say, although like Dorado Gaming Alpha did win the set, DDG did win this game. So very nice draft. I think both teams walk away with something that's not too like over the top in terms of like one-sided. But yeah, the Bard pick super slammed in. And picking Ornn into Trundle does feel a bit rough.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little worried about that as well. Like, the thing is Dorado really doesn't have an identity for their game plan. Like, you're playing Caitlyn Karma, you threw in a random Syndra, you have Scion, you have like decent set pieces, but you don't have something to like really mesh the comp together. Because everything individually performs fine, but you just don't have that team mesh where DDG is basically a standard front to back comp with Ahri on the flank to just, bother your Caitlyn
If this
or
was
your Syndra.
Jarvan though instead of the Poppy, whoa, this draft would have been ridiculous. Jarvan great into Trundle, and then you've got full immobile carries everywhere. Might have been crazy. There's not a whole lot of Poppy value, but probably a comfort pick. Let's get into the second draft here. Vanquisher, the Vanquisher League. This is yeah, again, what a crazy name, Faceless Insomnia. That
Yeah, I
is
know.
ridiculous.
What a
Is that an org,
crazy
or is
name.
that just a
I mean, I
one
don't know, but
team?
that's absolutely banger name here. Let's talk about this a little bit. Another Ornn pick up here.
Yeah, Ornn another
Talia first
Ornn
pick.
trade.
Yeah, Talia first pick here. I'd say it's pretty standard, although she hasn't looked like the most winningest mid laner in the world, but
Hmm.
I think it is a little awkward to first pick Talia here, because I'm gonna assume this is game one. Doesn't look like there's any fearless
It's game
bans,
one.
so yeah, so
You can see the score at the top.
yeah, perfect. Yeah, I mean, like I'm just not sold on blind picking Talia here. It is a great champ, but in reality, is it that much greater? But Faceless Insomnia just hitting us with a straight front to back comp. You have decent ball delivery between Unstoppable Onslaught, plus like an Impale combo off of Skarner, with the dash. So Faceless Insomnia coming away with a much better draft. I think playing Sivir Nico is a choice, not one that I agree with. Because like realistically, like Sivir is fine, but I think playing Sivir Nico is just not really the best pairing. In my mind, especially with what you drafted, I would have much preferred something a bit better in terms of like dive. Because Nico can get shut out by J4 Cage actually quite easily, and you already drafted the J4. There's no Leona ban here, so interested why there's no Leona. Obviously, maybe worried about the Melio pick, which did come out this game, but it also wouldn't have been necessarily the worst into Zeri. You could also just straight up go with a Nautilus.
And this set did go to 5, so very, very close set. Interestingly enough, this game, obviously, there is always a hands component when it comes to games like this, but this game looks like, just from the kills, a complete blowout in favor of SCPX. So, Faceless Insomnia really struggling to get the ball rolling in this one, which, I mean, it's hard to, without watching it, say, because looking at the drafts, I agree with you. I don't really think you need a Milio this game, but I feel like Oriana's got a pretty decent time into Talia. Like, surely level 3, level 4 onwards is pretty favored. Like, use out poker, out clear, rotate, and then you've got a massive front line. But look like the lanes did really well, and sometimes that's just what it is.
Sometimes that's all you need. If you just killed your opponents, sometimes that's all you need realistically. But we'll move into the third draft here. Excuse me, as
Let me
Monkey
remind
Nightclub.
myself of which division this is. This is I don't remember. I can't tell which one this is.
This is
Anyway,
Divinity.
is it Divinity? Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
this was
Oh,
Divinity.
this is, yeah, there it is. Hang on. I was Conduit Esports first rounded. I was looking for the names because this is all finals. I was like, I can't see So this is game 2. Monkey Knight City have already won the first game, but Conduit Esports first round had come back to win the set. I'll grab the scores up while we have a look. But looking at the Fearless bands, this actually, yeah, okay. So Smolder Ash in game 1, very interesting trade there. Braum Milio, so it's going to be the Ash Braum, most likely played together. Hui Talia, Pantheon Jinjiao, and Na Renekton. So pretty like some very standard staples in the meta right now. Nah, not seeing as much prior, but that jungle matchup, that's all over the place, all over the world in different regions. More Milio as well, but very strong engage from both teams. I guess you've got Time Kench for a little bit of peel, but yeah, Leona getting picked up, Syndra, and the Echo, and that's a little bit of flavor there. Let me grab up the results here.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is so Conduit Esports does actually reverse sweep this series. I watched all 5
Oh,
games.
you are correct.
They come back in reverse sweep, but realistically here, Monkey's Nightclub have a decent comp going for them. I'm not sold on the Tom Kench pick here. I think it's kind of not great, but Caitlyn, especially the lower you go, Caitlyn is just so oppressive in lane, and dragon stacking is just so important in the meta right now that realistically, you look at this, right, and they're like, hey, Caitlyn gets lane prio, Orianna can get lane prio, especially into Cinder early. In most cases, if the Orianna is playing aggressively enough, and is good at dodging the Qs, that you will have priority over these Drakes 9 times out of 10. You know, Wheeze, I think, for all of Monkey's Nightclub, is pretty hit or miss top lane. But when Wheeze can get going, it's a complete nightmare. So a lot of dual, basically a triple threat comp here. Going for Monkeys, and that should push them over the edge. I'm just not sold on the Tom Kench. I just not a fan. Because again, right, Caitlyn wants something to help confirm her traps. That's kind of like the number 1 or number 2 thing for playing support with Caitlyn. You know, Sivir Leona is actually a really interesting answer as well into the Caitlyn. I mean, they blind pick Sivir, which is fine. Blind pick Sivir's been on the rise recently. And then Monkeys fire back with their bot lane. I mean, TK is kind of flexible, but I don't really think Wheeze plays TK. But then they hit us with a nice little Leona here, and I mean, it's a decent bot lane if you can play it well. If you can pilot this bot lane, Leona is really good on getting on a Caitlyn, because even if she E's late, Leona always follows. So, you know, I like Conduit's draft this game. I think it just fell apart a little bit. I think the Echo also doesn't do them any favors in the draft. But that is just a player thing for sure in terms of convertibility.
Getting up a little bit of context for this draft, that's why I was spending so much time looking down. I casted the semi-finals of Divinity with Caleb Peng. Very nice, very fun set. Also went to 5. Monkey Cities, obviously Monkey City coming out and winning that. However, in game 1, so this is game 2, but in game 1 of that, Monkey Knight City played an almost identical comp with the Caitlyn Tom Kench, Orianna, Volley Bear, but they had a set in the top lane instead of a Jax. So this is something that they're very, very comfortable playing, and they are up 33 kills to 7, and they didn't give a single dragon over. Got basically every objective. Enemy team got barely anything, barely any towers. They just completely stumped the game from start to finish. So this is something that all these players are very comfortable playing. Once you give over a draft like this, things like that tend to start happening. So even though, and my critique of the draft was, I'm really surprised that you're opting to go something like the Caitlyn Time Kench. It feels like those two don't have the best synergy. It doesn't really push lane as hard as you want to with the Caitlyn, and Time Kench doesn't get as much peel as maybe you want to use the Time Kench for. But I guess this is just Monkey Knight City's flavor draft. They like it. The top lane swaps out a little bit. I think Jax is honestly better than Set anyway. In most cases, but yeah, fairly strong. They just blow out the early game and don't stop.
And the sad thing is, even though that result happened, the next 3 games, they struggled to take a single dragon. So sometimes it could flip on your head, but we'll move on to the next draft here. Get us going here. Game 4, or sorry, I mean of our drafts is draft number 4 between Crime Syndicate and Dorado Gaming Omega, both of which we casted.
We did. This is the Olympus. We casted this game. This was the Gragas support. Pulled this
Yeah,
draft because it was quite a funny moment.
this draft is crazy. I mean, it's literally just straight up Dorado hands diffing Crime Syndicate, and boy did they this game. Oh my god, between Kiba Boy getting 2 solo kills in mid lane, also off of the back of a really bad Pangu gank in mid to get Aurelia ahead initially as well, or well, give her second kill because Kiba had already soloed Watercat in mid on the Syndra. Like, I don't know. I feel like Crime Syndicate's comp wasn't the worst. Like, if you look at the picks, it's really not that bad. It's pretty standard
No, it is.
for
Yeah,
all
it's
things
good.
considered. But like the execution was just so awful. I think coming out of Crime Syndicate here, and I mean, they did get 3-0'd, so I believe, right? I'm not spewing fake information.
Yeah, no, you're
I
right.
think they
You're
got
right.
3-0'd, yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like it just looked like they didn't show up to play, and sometimes that happens. Sometimes you just hit your cold at the worst possible moment.
Yeah.
Also, like, I mean, kill switches looked so phenomenal. This game included.
What a set.
Yeah, what a set. But yeah, Omega, good God, this would give me like some serious PTSD for sure, because this draft is just really disgusting in terms of like mid game power. And the fact they got ahead just made it that much more dominant, and I would just be scared.
I mean, one of the things for me about this draft is obviously it's really hard to predict the Gragas support coming in, so you can't really, I can't fault Syndicate for banning supports on second phase here when they didn't really know. And we interviewed, or you spoke to Omega anyway. It wasn't really until the Yorick got picked up that Omega knew, like, okay, that matchup's not very good, quite favored for the Yorick. I can just play Renekton and you can go to the Gragas. But something that happens here is because of the fact that there's this swap around, the flex, Syndicate ban away the supports, but leave open probably the best Yorick counter in the game, something that pro teams will ban away from the Yorick or play when given the opportunity, and that's that Renekton. Obviously, we saw, and I think the problem with that is that it's a top lane that was very contentious the entire game, regardless. The entire set. I believe game 1 it was, what was it, Sion and Bessa was game 1. Oh yeah, I can see right there. Yeah, Sion and Bessa, which is obviously Bessa favored. So regardless of, unfortunately, Aurelia getting picked and just being better, I think that Syndicate's draft does get pretty hampered by that fact. And the Gragas on, like, even if it's Gragas top, is Braum really the choice you want to go with? Because I don't know if Braum gets a ton of value against something like a Gragas. And I think even if it's Gragas top, it's not too bad, like, hypothetically, if it wasn't against Yorick, because all of the engaged damage, Jin Zhao and the Tristana, can be negated by Gragas being there. And Syndra's kind of caught out. I think Omega had such a nice draft here, but we're stretching our time. Let's get on to the next draft here. Thank you, my production friend. This is, hang on.
Excessive Rush versus Elysium.
Oh, yes. This is Rush. So this is, I think it's Elysium Solar or Solari. This is Conqueror. I believe I casted both of these teams earlier in the season. I'll have to check that out. But this is also another game one. And I didn't get to ask, but it does show on the it's this side for camera that the first 3 bands aren't there, which originally I thought maybe was a bug, but on the screenshots for the game results, the bands also aren't there. So maybe they got
It was an
taxed.
ESUB. Senja was the ESUB
Yeah,
for
because
mid. I
it's
think they were
humor,
there.
right?
Yeah.
It's humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got their ESUB situation. But yeah, let's just talk about the draft. They first pick Sivir here, which is fine.
Mhm.
The Morgana is a fantastic answer to the Vi. In fact,
Yeah.
if you watch this set, you know this Morgana straight up completely shut out God's Glory. God's Glory had literally no chance on the Vi this game to do anything. And it was just XSV and a stomp this game. Rutledge being able to play the Ziggs as well means that's off the table for future games, on top of just Ziggs being a great champ. Even though it's in the mid lane, it's a little difficult. He gets killed quite a few times by Senja, but it doesn't matter. Ziggs is Ziggs. You just wave clear. You're not. Your job isn't to do crazy team fight damage. You're just there for poke. You're just there for wave clear. And they had so much wave clear this game. On top of that, that Elysium really just couldn't really keep up with either. Like Jinx is their best wave clear option, and that's with rockets only.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I feel like
isn't Morgana like really good into LeBlanc too? Like historically, isn't that like quite a? That's what who was it on EDG that played that against Faker at MSI? That was.
oh god,
Do you know the one I'm
yeah, I
talking
know
about?
it.
Deft
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Because
I
they left.
remember what you're talking about,
Yeah.
but I don't remember who it was. But
So
yeah, I
again,
mean,
they
Morgana's just
combine.
really good into LeBlanc. Didn't get that much value into LeBlanc this game, but it didn't matter. It was literally picked. They saw Vi, they instantly knew they were picking Morgana jungle here, so good on excessive here, I think, for sure. I thought the Urgot was a little interesting in scope of their comp. I would have liked to maybe see a bit more frontline rather than something so coin flippy, because you already have the Morgana, right? Like picking something like a Scion this game. Scion's open, right? Like
Yeah.
there's no ban. Scion is open. Just pick Scion here. It looks great. But they opt not to. There was some hope, I think, for Elysium this game. Chaser could have maybe carried on the Jinx. That was, the Jinx did get a little fed towards the later stages of the game. Senja was doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but it just didn't matter. Elysium just gets smashed.
Well, funny about this as well is I casted these 2 teams playing against each other earlier the season, and it was a 2-0 Elysium stomp. And I will say, Humor put in a lot of work in that set. Had a really, really good performance on Xerath mid. But yeah, with this draft, it feels kind of like you come in with an idea, and I think that Elysium's draft on its own is really nice. But then there's not a whole lot of adaptation because, again, like the reason I bring up the LeBlanc matchup is because you pick Vi, enemy team answers with Morgana Ziggs, and then LeBlanc is the option into Ziggs Morgana. I don't know if I agree with that necessarily. I don't see the Vi Morgana, the Vi LeBlanc synergy in general. And then I'm not sure if I love the Alistair into Leona in general. I'm not a huge fan. Like, it doesn't feel to me like a great Alistair game. It looks on paper like a game where Alistair can't really interact. He's getting permanently CC'd by Morgana, doesn't really have a great time against Leona. Like, it's not Rel. And then obviously Zig Sivir, like, there's nothing else it can really do. So I think there are parts of Elysium's draft that I really like, but it looks like Rush just have answers for everything Elysium want to do. But I believe that is all of our drafts covered. So that is going to be us on the news for tonight. I think it will be when this is broadcast. I got to remember because it's not tonight for me. My name has been JBetto. I've been joined by Oz. This has been fun. I hope to do some casting with you, with some other casters as well in the next season. I hope everybody had a good season. Time for some rest, and we'll catch you on the next one.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this week's weather report. We got patch 25.16 coming to the Rift, and oh boy, did the Riot team decide they just wanted to fuck some shit up. This is by far one of the wonkiest patches I've seen in a bit, but let's take a look at what we got on our weather report. Right below me, you can see the lovely Nautilus, who has, and God knows why they did this, a return to Jungle Nautilus. We decided this patch, we were just going to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Nautilus is getting a huge damage buff on monsters on his E, and it's going to make that one of those sleeper picks you see, especially when we get into the Titan next split. I'm expecting when we get deep into the pools, we're definitely seeing some Nautilus jungles come out. And in your solo queue games, get ready for those weirdos who want to lock it in but have never played it in their life and just throw your entire game. But it does look pretty okay. But also coming to the jungle, if we go all the way to the west side of the map, we got Silas, who's also getting buffed for the jungle. He's getting some extra monster damage because God knows we need more Silas jungle. Everyone knows we love it when Silas goes and steals my Ornn ult up top, walks to my bot lane, and then kills them all but Call of the Forge God. For some reason, 150% bonus damage monsters. Why? Why are we doing that? Why? Because we want every character to be able to jungle. Same thing, we don't have it on the map, but Brand's also getting a buff to the jungle because Lord knows we love quick clearing junglers who can take the entire map and then kill my bot lane. It's going to be great, but it does make the potential Iron Man Fearless League in Titan, if that's coming, way more interesting. Ping Sems to make it happen. Anyways, what else we have on this map? We got another jungler to talk about, J4, right above my head here. He is getting a nerf. He's getting an armor growth debuff because everyone knows the reason you play Jarvan is because he's tanky. Everyone knows we love playing Jarvan because of his bruiser status and his armor stack, so he's done. He's just a useless champion. Not! This nerf does not matter. Anyone who thinks this Jarvan nerf matters is smoking the good stuff, and I want some of it. This guy has the most overtuned kit and clear in League right now, and they think an armor growth nerf is going to do anything. This guy's going to be in all of your games, and if he's on the enemy team, dodge. That is your TI Romeo official statement on this Jarvan nerf. Now, if we go to the south, we have Rek'Sai, and yes, we're talking about a lot of junglers, because all the other buffs on this patch are just weird. Like outside of like the jungle stuff and a couple of other things we're gonna talk about, we have like Mordekaiser getting an AD ratio and Kalista getting an AP buff. Like, why does that matter? It just doesn't. We threw stuff at the wall this patch. But below us, we're getting a Rek'Sai buff. It's another Rek'Sai buff. I hate Rek'Sai. I hate when she looks strong. I think if you were watching Vanquisher Finals, you've seen what a good Rek'Sai player can do. And this is another one of those buffs where if you know how to play Rek'Sai, it will make you even better. And if you don't know how to play Rek'Sai, you're still going to suck at Rek'Sai. I think it brings her up to being a decent assassin jungler, but there's still stronger stuff, especially in solo queue. Like if you're playing solo queue, just lock in the Kha'Zix, call it a day. But if you're in comp, I think if you want that, like Briar and Rek'Sai are some of your good like AD damage, like assassin-y type things that you can lock in. So it's definitely worth practicing if you're on a team and you're like, I want my jungler to try to be able to carry and find those picks. Lock in that Rek'Sai. I think it's a good thing to try and learn because I also think this won't be the last Rek'Sai buff we're seeing. Speaking of the buffs, we're now going to go ahead and look over at the strongest buff this patch, in my opinion, Qiyana. Qiyana, for some reason, got this huge buff. They're like, yeah, we know Qiyana's strong in the right hands, but let's give her another buff. Just let me pull up the exact stats here. Qiyana is getting 10 extra base damage on her Q at level 1, and she's getting 10 bonus attack speed on her W at level 1, and it's only going to scale up from there. Why? Why are we doing that on a champion that if you can land her ult against a good wall can get a 5 stun and then annihilate your whole team? Why give it to a champion that's already sitting above a 50% win rate on average? And by the way, if you want the stats on this, just because I use U.GG, go over to U.GG and just type in the 15.15 versus 15.16. She got a 2.5% buff immediately on her win rate because of these buffs. If this does not get reverted immediately, I'm dodging or perma-banning Qiyana. This champion is already annoying, but it now just rivals Zed in the assassin pool. Let's just run at people and make sure they blow up immediately and just get that epic trading at level 1 through 3 in that mid lane. If you're fighting Kiana in mid right now, the trading is going to be horrendous, and you are going to want to cry yourself to sleep. Finally, in terms of the champions we're going to talk about, Lulu's getting a nerf. Now, I've heard some people say, oh, great, Lulu's getting a nerf. It's a little bit of a nerf to her early game. It's the picks. Her shield AP ratios are going down a bit. The cooldown's going up, which I think is the biggest worry about this nerf. However, this champion still has Polymorph and that ultimate that just makes everyone survive forever. Their kit is still just inherently overtuned. And I think, although, will it be strong if it's like a mix-matched ADC and support pairing? Sure, but if you're rocking Kog'Maw Lulu, if you're rocking Jinx Lulu, if you're rocking an ADC that's good with Lulu, Lulu is still going to do Lulu things, and you're not going to feel the impacts of this nerf that hard. I think her damage is also going down a little bit, and that's nice because Lulu damage and poke is insane. But at the same time, Lulu does Lulu things, Lulu shields who Lulu wants, and Lulu stops assassins from playing the game. And that is not going to change anytime soon. Finally, 2 things I want to talk about this patch. We got experimental hexplate buffs, which is going to make Nocturne go crazy. Not on the map, but Nocturne has a small buff. He's still going to go crazy. The hexplate goes insane. Yi is going to go insane with it. But now the last thing on our map, we have Baron. And Baron is getting, in my opinion, the worst change ever. We're trying to prevent steals from happening. And let's be real, if you watch any pro play, we love seeing objectives get stolen. Not only is it funny, not only does it tilt the team, but you get cheers from the audience. Now what they're doing is they're taking away his health regen, and they're buffing his base health by like 300 HP, which means not only are you going to be taking Baron way quicker, but also steals are just not going to happen as much because you're going to see that number, and now when you smite it, you're pretty well guaranteed that that smite is going to claim that objective. Whereas before, the thing that scares us junglers is when we go to smite something, and then it heals on the tick we smite, and then the enemy jungler steals it. But it makes for crazy moments. It makes for great game flips. And although, yes, does this make League of Legends a little bit easier to like make the correct play? Sure, but it takes out that little hint of RNG that in the jungle makes things really fun and really scary. If you ask me, stealing objectives right now, significantly less worth it because of this change. So next time you have a 1,000 gold bounty and think, I'm going to dive into that Baron pit and try to steal it, maybe just remember the changes that just happened. But with that, that's going to be your weather report for the week, and we're now going to go look over those new pretty skins that came out this patch to the fashion show.
Hello and welcome to the Titan After Dark fashion show. I totally prepared an intro for this. I am Shar again. I'm one of the behind-the-scenes broadcasters, and obviously joined by 2 lovely and wonderful people. One who shares my head of hair, and not a magnificent beard like mine, but you know, can't win them all.
Fair enough. Fair
He's
enough.
beard shaving you, Wookie.
You know, it's fine. It's fine. I like to trim it up a bit, anyways. So, but yeah, we're here with fashion show, and Goldyn's still sick.
I am, believe it or not, from like an hour ago, I still have strep throat.
Well, that just never goes away. But so it's. I think we've got a decent set of skins paired up here today. I do see one of my preferred champions is on the list. Obviously, is like very nice down there in the bottom left-hand corner. Personally, I think Fiora is the best champion of all.
Yeah, only 4 skins.
You want to go? What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Only 4 skins, Wookie.
Only 4
Really?
skins.
Really? I thought we got that out of our system off camera.
No, of course not. Only 4 skins. Anyways, shall we get into it? The first skin.
Absolutely.
All right.
I'm ready.
Break Toy Corki. Thoughts?
I think it's I hate Corki as a champion. I absolutely despise Corki as a champion. It has nothing to do with his kit. It has nothing to do with his like the way he plays on the Rift and how he synergizes with teams. It's purely from a broadcaster's perspective and how in Spectator he loves to bug out, and the Gatling gun will not shut up. So I hope that looking at this skin, it does not have some kind of confetti sound effect.
Yeah, maybe it fixes it.
That's asking a lot from Riot to fix
That's
things.
true.
I
That's so
am
true.
sorry.
Egg feet?
Egg feet? Why are we talking about egg feet?
Can you
Oh,
imagine
I
walking
Do
on
you
an
think it's
eggshell?
cute? Like,
Because
like
he's walking on eggshells. Oh my
that,
god.
that is a knee slapper. Thank you, Golden.
Very much so. I will say, from a design perspective, I do like this skin a lot. I think the toy skin line is a lot of fun. I do think it tends to be a little uninspired on occasion, but the quirky one actually works really well. Gives me a lot of Snoopy vibes, which I think is
Yeah,
awesome. Pretty
like
good.
we know that it's quirky. Like the beard or the mustache like says it all. And the chicken, I just like the chicken copter. Like it's so good.
I like. So the thing I like about this one is, of course, the characters in the background. But one that I am not familiar with is look at the little Tom Kench with a hammer. He's like stuffed toy stuffed Tom Kench.
I didn't even see that. But that's cute.
Why does he have a hammer though?
Maybe it's just one of those situations where they're like, we got to give him something, fill out the space a little bit.
I mean, maybe it's a hint to another.
No,
down
it's
the line?
it's King Dedede. That's what it is. It's a King Dedede reference.
That's cute.
That would be my assumption. I mean, that would be my
probably.
assumption.
I don't know. That does look strangely very similar to King Dedede's hammer. Like I can barely see it, but like it, yeah, that does scream King Dedede. Anyways, but
I do like the fact that the bombs that Quirky drops are literally just eggs. Like that, just the fact that you have one on Renekton's nose.
Oh, yeah, true. And it splatters. Oh, that's so cute. I mean, I like eggs, so
So I think this is going to be one of those ones that I think it's a very 7 out of 10 skin. I would not give it a lot of, but it's pretty good.
Ammo. Oh,
Lego
yeah,
ammo.
I was about to say, like, I wonder, like, the actual in-game effects. Like, is this a legendary skin, or is this just a epic skin?
Just epic.
It's epic? Okay.
Yeah, just epic.
I mean, I figured, like, there's a lot of creativity with, like, changing the, sound effects, but, like, if it's just an epic, then they're probably not going to do that. But, yeah, the shooting the Legos is pretty... Are those Legos? Like, what are... Okay, they are? Okay.
It is. It's those little... They look more like light bright things to me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's definitely in the same vein. So,
That's
it's
cute.
legally distinct Lego.
Legally distinct. Correct.
Legally distinct Lego.
Correct.
That is what this whole thing is. And it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Legally distinct Roblox looking blocky situation. Legally distinct.
True.
Not copying anything.
I
swear.
think another thing is like the remember we were talking like in previous shows about the background to foreground distinction. I think this skin itself, like the splash, just does a really good job of differentiating that. So
absolutely, very dynamic, lots of action going on, definitely clear sense of motion, and it's not. This one does not strike me as boring.
Yeah,
is the best way to put it for that.
All right.
I'm curious if the in-game is as good as the splash. I like the splash, but I'm curious if the in-game is good or not.
In-game, it might be a little tricky to read, but they've always done really well with the toy skins. They've had a lot of color saturation that the Rift just doesn't have, so they're very bright and vibrant. And so this one clearly going to be doing the same sort of thing, standing out against the green on the Rift. So awesome. You'll know when he's running you down.
When he's shooting those bombs at you, yeah. All right, on to the next one. Oh, I clearly sized it wrong, but let me fix that real quick. But this is Bowling League Lilia. There we go.
I mean, we've always called it the bowling ball. Whenever she throws that out. So this was an inevitability. Like, this was going to happen at some point in time.
I'm disappointed it didn't happen sooner. Like, this is just such low-hanging fruit, but they did it really well.
They did. And I think that there's a lot of really fun elements to the skin. I think that they obviously do. When you're dealing with a centaur, it gets kind of tricky. And so it can definitely be one of those situations. You keep holding up notes that I can see on one screen, but not on others.
Vygar with bowling ball? It is a Vygar with bowling ball.
He is literally good.
It's his pajama skin too.
Huh. And we got a
Easter
Mumu
eggs,
in the corner with his little birthday going on. It's the birthday at the bowling balls, bowling alley.
Who's that next to the Mumu? I can't really see.
Soraka.
That's Soraka.
Soraka? Okay.
Soraka.
Mhm.
Soraka. You've got
Soraka.
Sivir by
And
Vygar
Sivir,
and Mundo.
And Mundo,
Mhm.
yep. Yeah, I mean,
I just think that's such a funny stance for Vygar. Like, give me more of this. This is so fucking funny.
The thing is, talking about stances, I'm actually not a fan of Lilia's stance in this.
She's got the bent leg. Isn't that what you're supposed to do when you bowl? You're supposed to like.
You are, but also it's like the dynamics of the way she's holding the staff. It's not clear that she's bowling that ball. Is it supposed to be
The trophy. She's already thrown her bowling ball though.
I know, so she's one-handed, left-handed bowling, which like she's left-handed, one-armed bowling right now. Is that what's going on in this shot? Which is what's really confusing me. Then why does she have the glove on the right hand? So it's like there's a lot of little things in this one that just kind of like irk me. I'm like, it's like looking at it initially, it's like, okay, this is good, I like it a lot, and then I'm like, okay, why did they make that design decision? What is that? I am confused. But from a very fashion-y standpoint, I think it invokes a very classic bowling alley.
Do we have any bowlers in chat? Professional bowlers? Anybody? That can correct us if we're wrong here. But I mean, on a base level, I think the skin is fun. Like it's one of those, another Easter egg one, right? Like I think that was the point of this one and the Corki one, right? Is just to have like some fun interactions. I will say that the camera angle, like the angle of this one, is definitely like it gives off that fishbowl vibe where like the whole room is kind of like curved, right? But I like the angle. I like the little hint of the bowling ball being already thrown. I think that's pretty cool. You can see that.
The reason the room is curved, Wookie, is because you are supposed to be from the perspective of a bowling ball. So the ball next to you on the very right or left of the screen, you're supposed to be from the perspective of a ball that she has not picked up yet, as she's watching the one go overhead of you. That's supposedly what TV Skyen had to say about this.
Okay.
I think that's an incorrect assessment of the picture, and I love TB Skyen. I don't think that's right.
It doesn't.
I can
look
see
like
how
that.
he would come to that conclusion, but I don't think that's correct because I mean you got Sivir over by the ball return.
That could be a different one.
Still, like I don't know. I've within the last 7 months been to a bowling alley, and there's also like the circular things full of bowling balls.
I used to work at a bowling alley. Yeah.
I've only bowled a 195. Okay, that's
so
the best I've ever done.
Fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about.
But overall, fun skin. I honestly don't think I like it as much as the Corki one. I'm gonna be honest, but I definitely think this is just another fun skin, right? Like it's not terrible. It's not like the greatest thing I've ever seen, but it's a fun one.
And if
fun.
I'm gonna throw out one last little criticism that I have of the skin, and this is something you would not notice this in game, so it's totally part of the splash art. I think there's a missed opportunity in giving her some more unique shoes. Like they are normal shoes on hoofed feet.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. And when you look at the shoe in the background, you can see how the one shoe is like up off the ground because clearly the hoof has to go in at a specific angle.
The
it's
furries are going crazy at that comment, right?
I'm sure they are, and they know I'm right. I may not be one of you, but I understand your plight.
We're segregating the furries. No, don't do it to us. We need the furry vote. Wait, I have one other thing to say. Her dress really bothers me.
I'll put it back.
Her dress, like, I understand that they couldn't figure out how to make it look like a normal dress on her, but they also couldn't figure out how to like clothe the rest of her body. But in other Lilia skins, her dresses or items of clothing go all the way back to her last 4 legs. But the way they did this, it feels like she's half naked to me.
I agree. It's like they designed the top part and then slotted it on top of a deer body.
Right.
Yeah,
it's like
she's basically just wearing like a little tiny belt with her bootang out. Like there's nothing covering it.
More like, centaur vibes, right? Like, I don't know. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's
my
a fair
problem.
assessment. Okay, moving on to our next skin, which somebody earlier had a lot to say about this one.
Yeah, just I love Fiora, and I love seeing the powerful Fiora being shown as powerful, and I have issues with the stance because it is not a good stance. In terms of rapier fighting, her positioning is a little awkward. The target is not aligned correctly. And again, I know why we did it. I get it. I understand. There's a reason why she has a white breastplate and a purple accent. It's clear. But it suffers from same face syndrome as well, I think. There's not a lot of clear Fiora to it.
Ew.
But it's I like the general design from a color gemstone standpoint.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it's clearly
it,
accenting her as Demacian.
it definitely like gives off Victorious because that is the skin line,
Mhm.
right? Is purple, gold, and like blue kind of tint, right? And white,
Mhm.
obviously. So like, it is a Victoria skin. I don't think it's the best Victoria skin I've ever seen. I don't like Fiora. I don't really care about Fiora in general, so it's like But as far as the skin goes, like I think they did a really good job on the sword. The sword sticks out to me a lot. Like the sword actually like is really cool looking, and it's got like a lot of like reflections on it. And I like that. That's pretty cool to me, anyways. And the colors are nice on that. I'm not sure if she's got a like. Is that a fur coat behind her? Like,
Okay, I was literally about to talk about
Okay.
that. That's what's pissing me off about this. Because do you guys remember when they did Victoria's Twisted Fate not that long ago? And
Mhm.
everybody was like, "What's the point of him having a fur collar?" And in the same thing with like Tryndamere. In the most recent set of really bad Victoria skins, they're trying to add these fur elements in, which just do not work. It makes them feel like a cheap knockoff of the Debonair skin line. Like they're a pimp out there that's gonna smack the shit out of his hoe for not bringing home enough men. Like it does not work.
That's a stretch. I mean, but okay, pop off.
I
think
mostly
it looks
agree.
so tacky. It looks so
I-
tacky.
It does look.
I
tacky,
mostly agree. This is where we when I mentioned positioning and angling incorrectly, this kind of brings into that point because it's supposed to be a dueling cape. So it's supposed to be one of the, it's one of those things where you see in old Renaissance they have like the rope draped across, and it's just the cape covering one shoulder because you would use that in a fight. And I wish they had accented that element more because she is the grand duelist. I
Right.
mean, there's no dueling being done in here. It's just clearly just showing off a sword to show off the sword.
I feel like she's giving off the vibe that she's like kind of like walking around an opponent, but I could be wrong.
But looking at the camera, which is not the
but looking
opponent.
at the camera, I don't know what
No,
the
this is
decision
my-
was on that one, but
So the one thing I will say about that Lily skin is it actually showed her in her full body, and something that League really struggles with is actually pulling off splash arts that are successful with the character's entire body or near entire body. Like because of that, we get some of these really difficult forced perspectives, which all of the skins that we've talked about that we have really liked, like that Shaco skin, which had the really cool perspective, you saw his whole body.
right.
Like this Lily skin, it's got a funky perspective, but at least it's different. You saw the whole body. Like all of these skins that we've talked about, where they actually pulled off a difficult perspective, you actually could see the point of perspective. But with and this is another I in general hate this skin so much, but that's the other part. It's the fur, firstly, but it's the perspective that you do not get here. What is she actually doing? She's posing for a camera, which is so disingenuous to me. Not work for this skin.
There's one thing that I think they could have done for this key. Like you don't have to change any of the design elements of the skin, I think, in this particular instance. But if they had instead changed they'd chosen a pose where it's a very boring pose, but her dueling stance where she has the sword in front of her face, like covering half her face. You have like they had the blade just in profile on half of her like that exactly. So you just kind of see her looking off to one side of it. and either full body or just bust, like from midriff up, you would have actually had a very powerful skin, I think, in terms of showing a victorious character.
Right.
It's still one of those things where, again, as we're talking about it in the 9x16, that vertical chop out, we know what champion it is. Which is the clear evocation that you need from a skin. But I of the 4 that we even have today, I would say this is probably the weakest one.
I would agree.
Even though Fiora is my favorite.
One more thing I want to point on is that, I think there was maybe one or two, couple of Victoria skins that actually did do full body. I think Sejuani was one of them. She was sitting down, but that was one of them that was full body.
You don't see all of what's her boar's name though.
Bristle.
Oh, Bristle. Yeah, yeah, that is fair. Which it is kind of a struggle with that because that's her duo, I guess, in a sense. That's her
right.
to Willump, right? But yeah,
I'm trying to think. I'm scrolling through all of the Victoria skins
the Poro
right now.
skin.
The Poro
her
skin.
her Poro skin is probably the best one to showcase Bristle. In all honesty.
Oh no, you're right. Okay, I'm gonna take back what I said. You're right about the Victoria skin. She's actually not even on Bristle. She's on a throne.
She's on the throne,
to him.
yeah.
So the only thing
and
you're
she's
not
got
seeing
like
on
that
her
whole. Yeah, she's got that whole
she's-
leaned back stance too. So
Yeah.
it's just like aura farming in the sense of
Right.
I'm not sitting up for
it's
you.
victorious. It's winning, right? And this
Yeah.
skin doesn't really show that. Like you said, it's just
Mm.
another point to add on to that. So yeah, I don't think this one was great.
I think they needed to cook the burger a little bit
little bit
longer.
more, a
Mhm.
little bit more. Okay,
The
now
French
we
chefs
get
were not
into
pleased. Goldyn's favorite.
Oh, we're gonna see all of Ari.
This
We're gonna
is,
see all of Ari. Don't worry.
this is a skin.
Yep. Knew it was Goldyn's
so
favorite.
I have
Knew
some-
it right from the get-go.
She's got toes up on the screen, and she literally has toes there.
But does she?
Kind of.
I mean, look
can't
at that
see the
angle.
outline.
No, I would say that you don't. You just got
I
soles of
see
the
the
feet
big
there.
toe. I see a big toe.
I don't know. I don't know if that's enough. I think people will be clamoring for more.
Hey, I don't really care about the toes. The problem to me is for me, the one thing that sticks out is the angle is so weird to me. I don't know. Is it just me, or does her body just
So
not
weird.
look weird?
Like, how is she resting on her own
Right.
tail?
Yeah.
How is this physically possible? Does she not have a spinal column?
Right. That's what I'm saying. She just bent her spine 90 degrees. It looks like.
See, is that what the blue-green is? Because I thought that was cushion. I didn't realize that was her tail.
No, that's her tail.
You can see her tail starts like a dark red by her. I'm gonna just say by her fat ass. So you can see it starts there, and then it disappears under her left foot. And I think it's supposed to be part cushion, but then her tail is either she's resting on her tail or her tail is not there at all.
I think so. I think she's resting on. Again, this is where you start to come into money. Like, what is the point of the skin? The point of the skin is obviously not the tails.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there, front and center. Even the toes are kind of I would say they're in the background, but they're also framed.
They're also
by the rest of
lit. They're lit. They
they're
have
lit.
light
They're-
on them.
They have their from a light source that I don't know where it is. So
You're
it's. I don't know where that light source is coming from. It's just clear the soles of the feet are lit. So obviously
Yeah.
that, and you got the chest lit very brightly. This is clearly a skin that I love the expression on her face, and I love her nuzzling
Yeah.
against the little spirit. I think that is
is
really
cute.
cute and really adorable, and I think that kind of fits really well with some things about Ari's character we don't often get to see in a splash art. Everything else about it, though, it's very obvious. We're like, okay, get a pinup and just trace it, and we'll throw League of Legends motifs on top of it that match Ari.
Yeah.
Even the food in front, I feel a little funky about.
Yeah, it doesn't actually look like food, and they
Ever held
it is,
a cup in my entire life like she is holding a cup right now? I do not
I
think I
have.
have ever gone.
Is that coffee or is that tea? I think it's coffee.
It's a latte because you've got
Is
the
it a
heart
latte?
shape.
Oh, it is
in
a
the,
heart. Yeah, I
it's
figured
a
that's what it
heart in
was.
there.
I've
and
never held
it's-
coffee like that. I'll tell you what.
You've
hand
never
would be
held coffee like
burning,
this,
you
and done
know? The demonstration right there. Now, how hard
done
was
that.
that compared to just
I've
doing it
never done that.
normally?
How hard was that?
Well-
Do you want me to go put some burning hot liquid in this cup and
See-
then try and go?
I think
Yes.
that if you were to swap out again, this is you don't even have to change the position in this particular case. Swap out the teacup for a little sake dish. So you're doing the three-fingered
Yeah.
sake. So a little sake dish. You swap out the food in front of her. In all honesty, put like shogi or something there, because that would be much more. Or put Tellstones if you want to be sticking with League of Legends games. You put Tellstones in front of her, because after dark, yes, we know what you're getting at with that, but that's not all what the whole geisha thing that they're going for was about.
Is it after
And-
dark or is it after hours? I'm pretty sure.
After
Or
hours,
after
after dark,
Oh,
it's
okay.
the same
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
in this case.
No,
think that-
listen. It is. I'm sorry. I have to not let him besmirch the After Dark good name, because if the After Dark team put together this skin, it would be so much fucking better.
Yeah.
It would be so much better. So let's.
It
get
would
this
not
straight.
be
This is not
allowed
related to
in
After
game,
Dark.
though. It would have to
You
be
think-
censored so much,
well,
Golden. I know
yeah.
what you would do.
She'll find a way. I think she'll
Oh,
find a
will
way.
I find
She
a
will-
way?
Yeah,
Will I find
she will find a way. If there's
Oh,
anything
boy,
I
will
know
I.
about Golden, she will find a way.
No.
But getting back to the skin, I think this is a great fan service skin. But like if you're an Ari player, go for it, man. You got my blessing. Good luck on the rolls, you know. And for being a what do they call it? What do they call these skins now? That you have to roll.
The Exalted.
Exalted, whatever. Yeah, exalted skin. All the more power to you. But like, I don't think this is quite exalted level. I mean, I don't know what the
I need to
in-game
see
From a
nipple.
splash art
For
perspective, I don't think
$200,
so.
I need to see nipple.
Yeah, true. Actual. We're just gonna have porn in the game, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Good. Nice one, Lee. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, I just don't think this is an exalted skin. Now, like I said, I haven't seen the in game, but I'm
Mhm.
sure it's cool. Like,
So, yeah.
did you see this one in game, Shirogan?
I haven't seen this one particular
Oh,
in game.
okay.
I've just watched the cut. I've watched the video and everything, and I was like, it's pretty, it's gorgeous. Like, I love the accents of the colors and everything. It reminds me very much of some of the other darker the Coven skin line in a sense, just because of the darker elements to it. But even so, I'm not a big Ari player, so I'm not a mid laner, but I can see why it would be pretty popular, which. Surprisingly, we had a lot of mid laners this time around, I think, on the skins, didn't we?
Yeah.
We didn't have
Just
a
two.
lot of mid laners in the last few sets of skins either way,
Mhm.
so I think it was a bit of a balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, either way, I think this is like out of all the other exalted skins, I think this is, for the fan service only. I don't think it's like I don't think
They didn't even do fan service, Wookie. Like, they didn't even actually give. How do you say we're making
They
a fan service skin and then
teased the
not
fan
on the most
service.
fan service?
the most fan servicey character. Yeah, I think there are better Ari skins actually.
There
Literally, she shows more. Like,
I
there's
submit
one
Coven-
where
Coven
she's
is a better
got
skin.
like
Right.
her dress is like above her hip bone. Like,
Now, you did say
That's
this
more fan
earlier,
service.
Golden, but she does have a fat ass here in this one. Like, I don't know if any other Ari skin splash art, correct me if I'm wrong, has that. But
I mean, I do not miss. I do not miss.
You do not miss. You do not miss.
you do not miss.
You got hit with that charm.
Yeah, you sure did. You sure did. Any-
Let me scroll through the Ari skins
Oh, yeah.
really quickly
I
to see
really-
if anyone else gives them a fat ass. Oh, Firefox, the new one where she's like sideways.
where she's turned around.
You can just-
yeah.
It's not as fat. Definitely, she might have lost some ass in that skin, but that's the other one that I would say shows off the most rumptitude.
The most
Rumptious.
rumptitude.
All right.
Mm.
Any final remarks on this one before we?
No,
call it?
no final remarks, but rather than kind of like rating these in like best to worst this time around, how about we rate them in terms of what's most likely to appear on the Rift? Like, what do you think is going to get selected the most often?
That's hard
'cause-
actually with this one.
Mhm.
Because-
So I think the
Ah.
order is going to be Ari, Corkery, Lilia, Fiora.
Disagree. Hard disagree. I think it's going to be Corky, Lilia, Ari, Fiora.
I think it's gonna be. I barely see Corky, so I think it's gonna be Lilia, Ari, Corky, Fiora.
Okay, but are we saying expect to see the most on the Rift in general, or when that champion is being played?
When the champion
that
is being
skin?
played.
Okay, yeah, I 100%. Corky hasn't got a new skin in how long? This is a great skin. Corky mains are going to be all over this.
Yeah, but then you have
True.
like UFO, you have Red Baron, or
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he has
the
better skins.
Do not underestimate the corgi butt.
Corgi butt,
That's a
yeah,
fatter ass than
yeah.
what Ari's got.
True. Based.
So just
So
saying.
true, so
Just
true.
saying.
I still think they've been so deprived of a new skin, though. I think they're going to play this.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. I think the Lilia players are going to come out of the woodworks with this one.
She's got so many better ones, though. Like,
I know,
almost all
Spirit
of her
Blossom,
skins are
yes.
actually better than this.
I agree, but you know how Lilia players are, man.
I think they're gonna go for the Lilia. Like Lilia's gonna get picked, like bowling ball Lilia, because of the bowling ball. Like that is literally going to be why it gets picked, because of the bowling ball.
It's kind of like a namesake of the champion, right? Like whenever we refer to that skill, it's the bowling ball. It's not anything else.
But I still think her Spirit Blossom skin is just too
actual
popular.
name is Swirling Seed, I think.
No way. No.
Somebody in chat correct me.
I don't care. It's a bowling ball. It doesn't matter what its actual name.
True.
It is the bowling ball.
Oh, I was so close. I was so close. But yeah. Bowling ball for sure. And with the Ari skin, I think like if somebody grinded that much to get it, I think they're gonna do it that skin every time they play that champion.
Just Ari has so many skins, though. That's the thing that's changing
true.
it. Versus Corky, who and Lilia, who both still have a very small amount of skins. Ari's got so many skins.
In that vein, I mean, you would pick Project Fiora on top of this skin any day of the week.
Oh,
any day of the week.
Instantly, same color scheme, cooler sound effects.
Right.
Absolutely.
If I ever see somebody playing Fiora in my game that plays this champion, I'm calling the FBI.
Okay. Well, that does it. So.
No, it's I have to say that I do kind of feel like Riot's been slipping on skins lately, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They need
Quick
a new
question
theme.
though, that's the vein of my question. So have you guys seen the new theme for the third split of the year is going to be darkened themed?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the new like festival. Do you guys think so? Excuse me. So obviously with Spirit Blossom being such a big theme for the summer, they did a ton of Spirit Blossom skins, and we've seen a few teasers of some of these like Fallen of the Gods skins coming out. I just saw a few of these come across.
We should probably dedicate a whole episode of this to Xin Zhao when he gets his rework.
We definitely should. We definitely should. But do you guys think, in addition to darkened skins coming out this fall, that they're going to bring any other skin lines back? Introduce any new skin lines? What are we predicting for this fall while we are going to take a few months of a break here from the show?
We've got October coming up, right? So the Halloween skins, right?
I feel like that's cheating, going for a holiday, saying a holiday skin line's gonna come back though, because that's like saying the holiday's not gonna happen otherwise.
It's in fall.
You know, I don't think we'll get it, but I would love to see it, as I would love to see a project return. I would love to see a return of the project skin line.
We have too many. There's too many project skins. There's just too many.
Well,
you might get a one-off, like Nefiri. You got a one-off of Nefiri, but you're not gonna get a whole split or a set of them.
Yeah, probably.
Bet my life on it.
It's hard to think. There's so many.
The new T1 skins are apparently not coming out until the beginning of Worlds. The patch before Worlds starts is when the T1 skins are supposed to drop for this recent championship, which is much later than normal.
So like late November or
so Worlds officially starts with the knockouts and play-ins starting on October 14th this year, so it's a bit earlier than normal. The play-in stage is going to be performed a bit differently than it has been in the past, so they might be starting it earlier in order to give more of a break. I'm not really sure. I'm 100% positive we'll do a full Worlds breakdown on the show this upcoming fall. But I know for a fact that so it's the patch before that October 14th date is when the T1 skins have been announced that they're going to hit.
Okay. Well, we'll have to stay tuned and see those when they come out. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I think it will. And with them bringing the Darkin skin line back, maybe because the Darkins were made to fight the Ascended, right? If I remember correctly, or were they made to fight the Void? I forget.
They were made to fight.
The Void. They were made to fight the.
Oh, princess, your job is to fight. I'm not quite sure if they're the Ascended or like Kale, Morgana, Pantheon. That group of people, the aspects. That's who they're made to fight. Is aspects.
The Darkin were made to fight the aspects. Okay, because I could have sworn that it was something to do with Azir and his people.
That could have been like the original thing, but with all of the lore pairings, like you see, like Pantheon's entire lore is to fight Aatrox.
Yeah, Pantheon's entire lore is to fight Aatrox. This is very true. And then you've also got whatever they've done with Arcane and what they're doing next with that, because you know what? Screw the lore question, because it's so up in the air right now. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
It could be an interesting bring back of like Dawnbringer, Nightbringer. You've got it set up right there in front of you. They've kind of like beat that horse, but if anything Riot knows how to do is beat a horse. Or a deer in this case.
Yep.
Fair enough.
All right, well, I got nothing else when it comes to the skin lines. I'm looking forward to seeing what we get next. So it's always exciting, in all honesty, knowing what skins are popping up. So
make more better exalted skins, please, and for champions that we actually care about. Not Ahri, who has a bajillion
that don't
skins.
have 25 skins already.
Exactly. Like, for the love of God, we have so many Fiora skins. Why is this one the exalted one?
When are we getting the next Rek'Sai skin?
Oh, I'm
Rework,
so sorry.
maybe soon. Her win rate's gone really up. I do one last thing before we toss it over to the caster therapy segment. We did have a chatter suggest that next split we should potentially explore having the Tadcast come up with a skin and doing our best doodle draw of it, which I think could be very fun. And so we'll have to look into that over the off season. And get
I
back
think
to
that's a
you
great
guys.
idea. I love this idea.
I like this idea. Thank you.
Strogan likes this idea. All right.
Strogan very much likes this idea.
Third person. All right, with that, that's our fashion show tonight. We're going to go over to the caster therapy segment. Dr. Freedom Potatoes has an excellent grouping of mental asylum patients for us tonight to therapy. So stay tuned. We're headed right over.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Caster Therapy. I'm Dr. Freedom Potatoes, and well, as you can see, due to the off season, sales of Fearless haven't been so hot. There's not a lot happening in that area right now, and so we've actually had to downgrade the studio. We're just in a park now. That's where we are. But anyway, with that, I am joined today by Leslie and Isaac Casts. So yeah, welcome onto the show, guys. And why don't you introduce yourselves and maybe tell us, what leagues you cast, what your role is as a caster. Give a little blurb about yourselves.
Wait, I'm muted. Hi, I'm muted. You can't hear me anymore. I won't be saying anything for the rest of the segment. So, I'm Isaac. I've filled in for a handful of Titan casts. I usually do play-by-play. I don't know what else to go off. Birdio Enjoyer. Big Birdio Enjoyer.
Yeah, I'm Leslie. I cast all Vanquisher last split, and then filled in for a couple of different teams. Just so I coached my first team this year, so a little less casting, but did mainly color, did some play-by-play here and there, kind of getting into it. But yeah, big Vanquisher fan. TMGD, let's go.
Awesome. Love the TMG support. Well, yeah, on the show today, since the season's over, I figure, I could use my, there we go. Yes. We're going to be doing some reflecting on everything that's gone down in this season. So kind of the first question I had for you is how and why did you get into casting? What's your goal? Just are you trying to go big, make it to the big leagues? Are you just trying to have some fun after work? What's kind of your story?
Oh, I mean, okay. So how long do we got?
I mean, not all day, but
back when I was a little boy, you see. No. Actually, funny thing is that I guess for the longest time have always like kind of wanted to be like on the sports broadcast side of things. So like even as like the age of like 7 or something, I would like pretend to be doing it alongside like NHL games when I was watching, right? And so like the idea of being a caster, or I guess commentator in the sports fairs they're usually called, has been like planted in my mind for quite a while. And it only I've started with League. Well, I say started. I've been doing league casting for not necessarily consistently 7 years now, but my first cast was about 7 years ago. Mostly because you don't have to travel to the places, and
Valid.
that definitely helps a lot. That you can do it from your own home, and it's just kind of stuck. So
makes sense. Yeah. What about you, Leslie?
I kind of used it as a way to add more of a social element to my League of Legends playing. I actually had a group that I played with pretty religiously, and there was kind of a big falling out. And this was kind of my foot in the door for that. And I knew I wanted to coach, and I do have an org of my own, and we're kind of getting into all of that stuff. And it was kind of a great opportunity to do that. And I'm a huge Captain Flowers fan, so of course.
I mean, who
watched a lot of. Agreed. Yeah, kind of everybody. But, I'm right,
one person who doesn't
right
like
there
flowers.
on the bandwagon with him.
Same.
So of course I got into Titan, and then I cast Vanquisher last split was my first time casting ever, and we cast the TMG sponsored stream for the entire split. Me and Mojo Pow, which was fantastic. Watch TMGD Death Knights go to the finals and win it. And of course, meet a lot of great people. Shout out Loki, Goldyn, and Shrogan, absolute goats of the broadcast team. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and hopefully I'll continue to build that experience, and then have the tools to add it to my own organization down the road. So,
yeah, I feel like casting and a lot of the things that are associated with competitive league are a great way to make it more than just like, oh, I'm just killing time on a game. It's like you add a little purpose, and I think that's really great. My next question is, I don't know if you have like preconceived goals going into these seasons, if you're specifically trying to improve on things, or, hit certain goals, or if you're kind of just, along for the ride. But one way or another, do you feel like you achieved whatever your goals were this season?
Ooh, I guess so. Because I guess one of the things that I'm worst at in terms of like casting is because the easiest way to explain is like I guess the business side of it, and like putting yourself out there to be able to get on to broadcasts is definitely like the thing I am weakest at in terms of casting. I mean, if you talk about within casting, I guess drafts I could improve a lot at. But in that regard, I think I've done a little bit better, and the Literal Monkeys org has been inviting me on a bit more often, and I've been having been enjoying it over there as well. I've been actually afforded by a few. I've actually been reached out to cast before. This is the first time that's happened in like 7 years that has happened. So improvement in that front. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I would like to say a resounding no. None of my casting goals were met this season. So I had planned on. So I own an organization, and we had planned on putting a couple teams into leagues, and I was going to kind of have an admin role because I wanted to cast. And we had a coach bail at the last minute, so I ended up coaching a team. So unfortunately, I think I only cast 4 times this split, just not very much. But shameless plug. Coaching goals wise, we won a championship our first split, so I guess it's good enough, right? I guess I can't complain.
When one door closes, another opens, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's awesome. How did you find the coaching experience to be? Is that you mentioned it before. Is that something that was new to you, or do you have like previous coaching
No.
experience?
Yeah, I have previous coaching experience. I know a lot of people are probably familiar with the Nameless, which was an organization that kind of went away, that not around anymore. I coached with them for quite a while, and then of course I peaked D1 in League of Legends, like actually playing myself. So I've got a lot of in-game experience, and then I've just been coaching teams here and there. Had some solo queue coaching students, and this was the first maybe the first time it felt real, I'll say. And yeah, we kind of took off with it. We struggled in the beginning. We had to forfeit our week 1 match due to a no-show by a player, and then had to redo our roster really fast, and ended up, just running the league the rest of the time. So it was a lot of fun.
Build back stronger after the initial hardships. That is awesome. Okay, well, another question I've got for you all is, do you have any favorite matches that you casted this split, or maybe storylines of a team, even if it wasn't necessarily your own, but just anything that stands out to you from this season? I know this might be a bit more complex because it's a long time to go back and remember.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me just
let me pull up my notes that I did not absolutely prepare for this.
Favorite storyline. I mean, I guess because the monkeys have kind of brought me in and allowed me to follow a few of their teams. I guess that's what I'm most comfortable with. The monkeys finally winning a championship as an organization in Berserker League for the first time in like a few years, I think. I don't remember the exact amount of time. I know they brought me. I don't even know their lore, so don't tell Colonel. Yeah, I think that one was pretty. That one was pretty fun to follow along. Monkey Safari and their team. Also, Middies is pretty cool.
I haven't followed that specific league that much. Was that a pretty dominant season for them? Was that like a comeback story?
No, they were definitely, they were kind of like a best of the rest. I think they were the second seed in Group B. They kind of picked me up right as playoffs started, so I didn't really get the regular split for that. But yeah, Coop kind of absolutely ran it in the jungle. Was dominant. It was absolutely great to watch. Picking Shyvana in semifinals in game 4, I think, was a wild one. And it actually kind of popped off on it as well. It's one of those champs that you just never see, and when somebody picks one of those really unorthodox champs and you're just like, oh my god, they're doing it in semifinals in game 4, well, not quite 5, but it was the one that they won the series on, was really fun to watch. But yeah, I think that's been my favorite thing to follow this year or season.
Awesome, yeah. Unorthodox pick carrying them to a victory. That's a good way to close it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, unfortunately, I didn't get to cast as much as I wanted this split. And I try to keep up with all the leagues, but I think, and it hits a little close to home just because this is the same league that my team competed in. But there was a really cool storyline with a team, Glacial Storm, and then they ended up becoming they changed their team name. They had a rough season, and then they had to redo their roster, and they picked up some new players, and they a lot of improvement right at the end of the season. Just were able to make playoffs, and then took the #1 team in the league at the time to 5 games in quarterfinals, and made them work for it. I mean, I love stories like that. I love underdogs. I love things like that. So I think they changed their name to Lifeboat 4. So it was a really cool kind of thing to see happen. See teams develop, struggle, not give up, and then kind of rebuild themselves, come back, and absolutely you are gonna have to beat. We're not gonna let you walk away with this one. And taking those high tier teams to 5 games, and really making them earn it. And I kind of love stories like that.
Yeah, making people work for it when they should have the upper hand, even if you don't win. I feel like that's a great feeling. Even just on the Rift, it's like, oh, you want this crab, I'm gonna make you work for it, or something, or make them sweat the smite up there, and anything like that. When you should be down, but you show them you're not out. It's a good time.
Absolutely.
what about your thoughts on the current meta? You know, is it? I've seen some people raise the complaint that maybe League is actually too balanced right now. I mean, me personally, I saw a lot of Smolder in playoffs, so I might be having nightmares about him. Are there any champions that are giving you, you know, insomnia, nightmares, or maybe bring you some comfort to see in the meta?
Smolder is a little overtuned. I don't think that's a very spicy take, though. That's like the most lukewarm meta take ever.
Maybe my hot take is that Smolder is just fine and doesn't need to be adjusted at all. They want him to be this late game hyper carry kind of caster type 80 carry that was absolutely broken when he came out, and then he's been gutted to the ground over and over and over again. And now they're bringing him back to a point where, guess what? I think if you're gonna do anything, his laning is still a little too safe for the meta. But I think the way he gets at 225 stacks, I mean, it's a skill to be able to stack correctly and get that at a reasonable amount of time. So I like where Smolder's at. I'm a jungle main myself. The jungle meta is just, especially when you get around comp, it's been the same for so long. And I am just ready. Like, let's just make J4 not a champion. Can we just get rid of some J4, get rid of Xin Zhao? I'm a Vi is my highest master champ. Get rid of Vi. Like, the jungle champs are, you know, and as much as I hate from a solo queue perspective, I hate champs like Graves and Lee Sin and Diana and some of those champs. Like, it'd be kind of nice to see a big shakeup in the jungle meta. I think it's gotten, in my opinion, pretty stale. You know, the most exciting thing you see in jungle and comp now is like Wukong. Ooh. Like, I just don't think that it's you know, maybe it is, like I said, it's too balanced. Like, they're just, everybody's good and they're just very consistent, and that's what you see like the same 8 junglers all the time, and especially with Fearless being the most dominant thing now. I think Titans even taking Gladiator, their Gladiator League, to Fearless next split. I want to see a big jungle meta shakeup. I think it's stale in my eyes. It's very stale, very boring to watch.
That's fair. Yeah, I think there's a lot of stability in League right now, and I think that those high variance picks can make a match more exciting. And it's, you know, I think that's the challenge Riot always faces of balancing for competitive versus solo queue, because those champions can still absolutely crush it in solo queue, but it doesn't feel like people are at least feeling super incentivized to pick them in competitive right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I also would like to see the and maybe it's because we just went through it, right? We had the whole kind of like 80 carry mid meta for a while, but I feel like 80 mids are just non-existent. I mean, you see the random Yone every once in a while. There's those few teams out there who still try to make Tristana mid work. You know, Zed is just a better jungler than he is a mid laner, right? So you never see it. So it'd be nice to have those options. I think you see Jace mid every once in a great while, but even then, that's, I mean, I'm sure a lot of us at the higher level, you know, we have our opinions of Jace anywhere below like high diamond masters. So, you know, we all kind of how we feel about that.
I like playing Jace mid.
Yeah, sure, your team does too. No, I'm just kidding.
I gotta check the OPGG real quick.
Just don't look at the win percentage that I have on it. You know, like.
So it'd be nice to kind of see that shakeup. I do think mages are in a much better spot than they've ever been, which is great, actually. I don't think that's bad for League. I think that's great for League. I think mages had a lot of instability and ups and downs over the last year. And some of the item changes they've done and things they've brought in, I think, have made it a lot better. But yeah, I want to see more 80 mids, more options for 80 mids. So we can start seeing the Lilias, the Dianas, the Gragas jungle, you know, it's about time we got another AP jungler, I think. Riot, you know, wishing it into existence. I think it's about time.
80 champs mid, but maybe not ADCs. I feel like at least the reason
That's
ADCs
fine.
can go mid, because they were so like stable with the combination of fleet and absorb life. Like, it's just, you can't poke them if you know. It's like, and that was, as a mid laner, frustrating to me. But I think if we could have like more AD assassin type champions, I actually like playing against this because I play Anivia and like that champion destroys them. Anyway,
just please change the meta in my favor, please.
Yeah, she tends to do pretty well there. Okay, well, who is ready for some scat? This is of course, the supernatural and conspiratorial attitude adoption test, which is a new state of the art examination that we've developed here for this show to gauge the sanity level of our patients, and getting right into it. first question is do you believe in such a thing as a playoff buff or a nerf? Is it magic? Is it, what's the explanation here? How can such a thing exist, or is it just total bogus?
Oh, wait, in Titan specifically, or
Titan specifically? Well,
okay,
could talk about it more broadly too.
Because I think for it. I think teams, for whatever reason, perform better in playoffs. I mean, in NACL right now, I mean, Blue Water winning over Supernova pretty convincingly was pretty wild, and then Dorado today over Dark Zero was wild. But specifically Blue Water, I want to look back at because they did that in their first season in NACL as well, where they were mediocre and then playoffs rolled around and they went far. And so, is that the case? I don't know. And for the amateur scene, it's a lot more difficult to judge because sometimes there are like scheduling issues and you feel like a key player doesn't make it and it's like a single elimination. It's like, oh, we lost our best player, and so now we're like lose so much power in that regards, despite the fact we were first seed, we get first rounded. And it's like, is that really like a playoff nerf for the team, or is it just schedule gap,
Yeah, there's a lot of like variance that can come from factors outside of league or outside of the Rift, because most people playing an amateur can't dedicate their entire lives to it. And so that's a fair point that stuff like that comes up and can actually have a lot more of an effect in playoffs than in the regular season.
Yeah, so I'll classify this as 3 tiers. I think in the pro level, yes, absolutely there is. We watch T1 play every year. And just kind of right. Enough said. For kind of like tier 2 or even like NACLQs, stuff like that, I think so, because I think there's a lot of people when they get to that level and on game day, there's a lot of like adrenaline and hype and excitement. And I think that definitely leads to some stronger performance sometimes, especially from like individual players. So I think there's definitely some of that. When it comes to like amateur, I want to rebound about the scheduling thing. And maybe I'm just a little too black and white, but like about the playoff dates for months. So if you're gonna miss, either don't do it or miss in the season where it doesn't matter, right? Like I definitely hate that, but I definitely think in the lower amateur leagues, I think there's probably more of like a playoff nerf, because especially when you think like Gladiator or like the E4 cap teams and even some of the D4 like Conqueror, sometimes this is people's first real experience in comp environments or making it that far in comp environments. And I think sometimes, especially at that lower level, there's a ton of pressure that people put on themselves, and that can lead to struggles and poor performance. And so I think I definitely believe that playoff buffs and nerfs absolutely a real thing. Whether it's either direction is going to be dependent on what the situation is, but absolutely real, 100%.
So I feel like we've come up with a very rational explanation for the nerf, but why do you think the buff happens? What's the secret behind that?
Sometimes it could be experience, depending. Obviously, Leslie said T1, and like Faker's like been around for longer than I've watched and played the game, so like there's part of it like that. But some other times it's just inexplicable. I'm going to kind of venture outside of league for this one. But I remember, like, in ice hockey, Devontae Smith-Pelly, if anyone remembers him, would be literally, you would be running, like, a 19-man roster instead of 20 for the 82 games of the regular season. But as soon as playoffs hit, for whatever reason, that guy just was a god, and nobody could explain it. I don't know. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, I think a big part of it for me, you said experience. I think that's going to be a big deal, and I think a lot of teams, especially in lower elo brackets, they don't realize how different a best of 3 and a best of 5 is.
Oh yeah.
As somebody who's played in best of 5s and played at that, it's like 5 games is difficult. Holy, like keeping your mental, keeping your energy high, keeping, especially if like you have situations where you go up 2-0 and then you're 2-2, and there's a whole different aspect of mental. And I think there's also that pressure of like, this is it. this is all you got, right? It's not the regular season. You'll get another week. And I think sometimes, the reason you see those buffs is it brings out the best in people. I'm sure you guys have heard the term game day teams, right? Where they just show up on game day and perform, and then they go to practice and they just get beat up all the time, and then game day and they run through other teams, and I just so I think that that pressure, while sometimes it's a nerf, I think that pressure itself can also mount as motivation too.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's the mental fortitude. It's tough to measure, and can manifest in a lot of ways, but could be the source of that buff. Well, I've got another question here, which a little bit related, which is maybe some people also have like the rituals they use, or pre-game. I've seen like Masu sniffing an orange was one that I saw on the LTA. But do you have anything that you do to get ready for casting, or maybe for a big game if you're playing in comp?
For casting, vocal warm-ups, 30 minutes before call time every time. Same ones. So the likes of Russian Soldier Shoulder Holster is a pretty good tongue twister. Peter Piper picked up pickled peppers, and What's It to Do to Die Today at a minute or two till 2. Other ones, lip trills, and the sorts. I've done plays, so it's what you do to warm up.
I should probably do that. Thanks for the advice. That would probably help.
You want to send you a list of tongue twisters to?
There was
yeah, sure.
I don't remember what team it was, but there was a team this season that I casted, and for whatever reason, I kept saying their name wrong. I know because the chat wouldn't let me forget. But there's just some team that I would go to say it and just blah, 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 blah. I just couldn't. I couldn't get it out for whatever reason. So maybe that's what I need to do. I need to start those tongue twisters and get my brain and my mouth a little more connected before it starts. But no, I'm a big unsweet tea drinker. So every time before we cast, I always go get. I have these. You guys familiar with fuzzy tacos?
No, I've not.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, fuzzy tacos. It's like Oklahoma City is where I got all mine, but they have these multicolored plastic cups. They come in blue, orange, yellow, red, and you buy them when you're there, but you can take them home. Like they're you can reuse them in the dishwasher or whatever. So I have an assortment of those, and I always fill it up with a bunch of fresh thing of iced tea, and that's how I always start casting. And then for comp, push-ups. Legit, get your heart rate going up a little bit. I mean, there's actually some science behind if you can elevate your heart rate right before going into some of those types of performances, it'll actually help improve cognitive function and gameplay. And so yeah, that's what it is.
That's funny because for me, the opposite. I do the opposite before playing. I usually take like a 15-minute power nap to go in refreshed.
Nice.
Good to be completely honest.
Nice.
like habitually, I was just like, all right, now's a 15-minute nap. Almost, you could almost classify it as meditation, I guess. Sometimes you can't truly sleep, but yeah, but
even just lying there kind of gets the regeneration going. I feel like you got to find the sweet spot, like the physiological sweet spot, because I sometimes have to bike home from work, and it's like a 9-mile bike ride. This is usually not what I have to do.
Oh hell yeah, let's go!
If it does
bike
happen,
rider.
Yeah, like I've had sometimes where it's like a hot summer day and I get into game and I'm like, like what am I doing? Like my first 3 levels, I'm missing every minion. It's horrible. But I like the push-ups. I also had a roster I was on once where before our scrims, we would set ourselves a goal. And if however many times we failed that goal, we had to do 10 push-ups. And I think that's like great because you're getting that physical, the physical kind of heart rate buff, but you're also like, no one wants to do like 40 push-ups. So you're going to try to remember whatever it is that the goal
reminds
is.
me, I used to have a coach that would do VOD reviews with me, and for every uncontested CS I missed, I'd have to do 2 push-ups. And that was just, let me tell you early on, you improve at CSing very quickly when you get out of a VOD review and you're like, yeah, that's 35 push-ups or 36 push-ups. Oh, that's 40 this game. There's another 40 that game. Like you either get really strong or you start CSing very well, right? One or the other.
Yeah, it's a win-win, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, I'm gonna move on to our next question here, which is what about the caster curse? Do you guys believe in the caster curse? Is that real?
Absolutely.
I just had a few of those myself.
It's real. It's real, but it's also not a 100%
True
thing. right? Because obviously people like to focus in like when it does happen, because it's inevitable. Because for
Rational
example,
thinking incoming.
but it is absolutely real, because I distinctly remember during this, again, outside of League of Legends, during the last Euros, I was watching the pregame of it, and then one of the presenters said that no team that had reached consecutive finals ever lost both finals before, and I was like, oh well, England's losing, congratulations, Spain. and lo and behold, Spain won the Euros. So it's 100% real. However, it is the caveat is that it's definitely not 100%. It's probably more like 75% hit rate, but it's definitely real.
You can't consciously will it into existence. Say you can't reverse psychology teams to do what you want. I feel like it only happens maybe if you're not thinking about it. It's kind of what it feels like to me. If you were trying to do it, it's never going to work. But that's my experience.
Right. This is a valid point.
Okay. Well, I'll hop off of that onto this next question, which is how do you react when you make a call and it ends up being totally wrong? Are you just gonna blame it on the players? Say, oh well, of course this is platinum. If this was a master league, they would have done what I said because I'm knowledgeable. Or are you just gonna just try to figure out where you went wrong, see if that's something you could improve on for your next cast, and put that in the memory, or you're just gonna embrace chaos? League is a chaotic game. Anything could happen. Of course, it's hard to predict. What's your flow when you make a bad call?
I'll start with this one, especially because, like I said, my first introduction to casting was kind of in a Masters, the Vanquisher, the Masters 100 LP Cap League, and I think there's definitely a lot of embracing the chaos. There are definitely moments where you're talking about things and you're like, yeah, this is the situation, and they're gonna move in to do this or this, and even at that level, sometimes they do stuff, and you're kind of like, you got me. I was totally not aware that was a thing or that's gonna happen. And of course that happens at all race, but even at the top level, you see that all the time. And sometimes you're like, man, I'm not sure why they did that. That was just up to them. So I think there's always a level of analysis, but I definitely I'm more of a, yeah, you know what? League of Legends, guys. That's what it is. That's how it is. It wouldn't be as fun without it. So more of an embrace the chaos.
Yeah, I also the chaos is you gotta roll with it, man. If everybody played the game perfectly, it wouldn't be fun, to watch or cast. It's that simple. I mean, it's part of the reason why I kind of, in a weird way, enjoy casting IBSG games, because the chaos is at its maximum, and sometimes my favorite one, it was probably 3 or 4 years ago now, it was a game 5, and one of the teams picked Garen support and flexed Thresh top. I mean, yeah, we go. Wow. Right?
You just hear the players in the background analyze this.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta go all right, Garen support Thresh top is the flex pick that we all saw coming, guys. Probably.
So did they win? Or
they did, actually,
okay.
which is the craziest thing.
What?
It was I wish I had one thing I'm starting to do is saving my notes. So when we have series like this, I could literally scroll back and be like, yes, you see, well, 5 years ago I was casting this series, and it was this game. Tell you exactly which teams, which league, what week and what not before that. I wish I used to do that, because I would have been able to pull that up and just brought it out of the blue. But no, that was definitely the chaos. I love the chaos. Bring it to me. It's what makes the game fun.
Yeah, it makes me
love
think of
surprises.
when you're casting the IBSG or lower league teams, and it's always a bloodbath, right? There's always just so much going on, and then every once in a while, you get that game where you're 15, 16, 17, 18, 20 minutes into the game, and it's 0-0.
There's no in between.
And correct. There's no one way or the other. And then just the whole time you're like, guys, what are we doing? Like the tension is just building and building and building, and it's just like it's almost like it never stops. And it's just you're just on edge for 25 minutes until something happens and the game's just over. Like, oh my gosh, there's, like you said, the chaos. There's nothing, no in between.
Awesome. Okay, moving on to another question here. Do you believe in losers queue? This is another perhaps supernatural or perhaps data-driven phenomenon that the League of Legends community is, has their maybe strong opinions on. What do you think about the existence of this phenomenon?
Get my hand in the camera. I do not believe in losers queue, but I do believe that players rage queue. And I think this is what feeds into the losers queue idea is they lose a couple of games in a row, which happens. I mean, it happens. Like, it's just welcome to variance-based gameplay where there's team members and, like, especially, when what people always tell you, like, climbing solo queue is it's about consistent play. And let's just be honest, you're gonna mess up in games, right? Like, so you're not gonna be consistent 100 times. And when those things line up and it looks like you're like, and when those things like get together and it chains these losses together, I do believe that people get it stuck in their head that they're like, oh, I'm in losers queue, screw this, and then they play worse, and it fuels that, which then refuels them believing in losers queue and blaming it on the system or what's going on. So no, I don't believe losers queue exists, but I do believe that players put themselves into situations that do make them chain lose, or they rage play and rage queue and continue to lose on repeat.
Gotcha.
I nothing to add.
Yeah, I
Nothing
mean,
to add.
I think that's also pretty much my stance. Like, I think it's a combination of, like, people really don't understand, like, random numbers. Like, like if you flip a coin 100 times, you will be surprised at how many series of, like, like 8 heads or something you get. Like, that sounds like statistically very unlikely. That's like a tiny probability. And yet if you do it enough times, it's going to happen. And if you, the type, I feel like a lot of the people who believe in losers queue are the type to play, 1,000 solo queue games. So, like, a 13-game loss streak or something, that could totally happen. And then your brain goes looking for the next explanation. And of course, it's way easier to, let's say, oh, this guy is also on a loss streak. It's him, not me, or something, But it does feel bad being the one who's
it feels awful.
The inconsistent player.
Yeah. And we've all done it. We've all entered a game and we're like, my bad, guys.
Yeah. Sometimes
don't be mad at me.
sometimes you just gotta at like 15 minutes go into chat and be like, my bad, guys. I'm just shitting the bed on this one.
Yep, my bad.
It feels great sometimes though. You get like teams that say nothing, like no flame, and then you like manage to win despite shitting the bed. Like that, that's like so beautiful to me when your team is just like chill with it and still tries their best. It feels rare, but it happens.
Strong mental wins games.
Yeah. All right. Another related question. So you were just that player who maybe didn't do so great in a game, and you get the friend request. Are you excited for a new buddy? Are you setting your mind to go to war, or are you trying to explain things to them? What's your approach to the post game friend request?
Leslie, you can go.
I'm a B. Yeah, I'm a B guy for sure. I'm the one who I love to just make them even more frustrated. Like it's fun for me, especially when I like when I was reclimbing when I played solo queue this year. Because I peaked D1, I was like reclimbing through Platinum Emerald and getting through, and like people are like flaming you when clearly like they have no idea what's going on. And my favorite thing is to just like add them and then just like let them get it out and just like play stupid and type back just to see how frustrated I get. It's fun for me. It like completely cures any mental issues I'm having with the game that day. It just like, so yeah, B for sure.
I'd say most of the time I'm going to add my own option and add D and say reject the friend request.
You're the smart one.
I don't have the spot. I'm a coward. Going to be 100%. I'm a coward. I'm not. Nope. Just I already know I played like shit. I don't need somebody else typing at me 7 minutes of 7 messages a second that I played I'll put it this way. Nobody can flame me as hard as I flame myself. Like
True.
and I don't need to add on to that. So I just it's boring, but it's just how it is.
No, that's valid. I keep that option hidden for entertainment's sake, but I feel like that is maybe the sane thing to do often. I do feel like sometimes, if I'm not actually completely sure that I was right about something, sometimes you get slightly interesting conversations where like if you can read between the lines of what someone's saying, you're like, okay, they actually have a point about how I could have played that better. They're just being a complete ass about it. Like, and you might learn a thing, maybe they learn a thing, and you walk away a little more educated. But that's also pretty rare.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, I think this is the last question I've got, but is Sem secretly rigging the competition for content? Do you guys know, like, I've heard rumors, behind the scenes, he's pulling strings to make
Oh
sure
yeah,
he's
I've got the script over here. Give me a second.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, wait,
no. I mean, no. Wait, no. Why would Sims do that?
Nah, don't do that. There's too much variance, I think. It'd be too tough, in my opinion.
Just don't check Dorado Zol's PayPal account. I mean,
we start seeing a bunch of sketchy rulings. Maybe we change our tune, but I think
no.
Yeah, no. I think things are pretty fairly run, about as much as you can expect for how many teams there are, how many leagues there are. It's a tough job.
I just see Sems in the background with the big red button that says "Fire this caster, fire this caster." Like,
yeah, you can't.
Yeah. Just it was great being on. Apparently, I've been just informed that I'm not allowed back on, and for all intents and purposes, this is a joke.
yeah,
to be 100% clear, this is not serious.
For legal reasons, so this is a joke.
Awesome. Well, it seems like y'all have a pretty good head on your shoulders. So we don't really have, due to the budget cuts from the lack of sales of the Fearless therapy, Fearless drug, we don't really have like a state-of-the-art facility, but we do have a farm upstate where we can send our casters, and y'all be able to, go run and play and stuff, have a good time, maybe detox from League. There's nothing supernatural here. I know this whole quiz was about the supernatural. I do not look on the left side. That's nothing to be afraid of.
What a friendly scarecrow.
Yeah, it's a farm.
Lovely?
Of course there's a scarecrow.
I know, it's so friendly. Look at it. It's cool.
Oh my God.
There's nothing that'll go wrong.
Nothing could ever go wrong in the middle of nowhere.
It's fine.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay, but seriously, thank you all for being on the show, for your time, for your insightful answers. I think we're gonna throw it over to the skit in a moment here. Anything you want to say as last words before we get on out of here and get off to the farm?
What he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got me. I couldn't have said it better myself.
That's just my consciousness leaking out there. So
humming, working. It's like a refrigerator. Just yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Thanks again for your time and being on the show. And yeah, let's toss it over to the skit now.
Tomorrow.
And we are ready to go for the final segment of tonight here in Titan After Dark. Since all the leagues have concluded, we're bringing you the awards ceremony for all our participants. We would like, before we get fully underway, to congratulate all the teams except for Dorado, according to Goldyn. I've been informed before this, we're not allowed to congratulate them. But outside of Dorado, in Immortal League, Dorado Gaming Alpha, not congratulations for winning that one. In Vanquisher League, Phalis Insomnia, well done on this season. In Conquer, XSV Rush, and congratulations on your championship there. And for Eternal League, Dorado Gaming Iota, again, sorry, can't congratulate you. And meanwhile, Olympus, another Dorado team, in the names of Omega, again, can't congratulate you, but there you go. And for Divinity, Conduit Esports first rounded, winning that league. Congratulations, Conduit. And in Berserker League, Monkeys Safari. Congratulations to Monkeys on their championship. But moving along, we've got first team All Pros coming in. We're starting out tonight with Titans Gladiator League. This one around 19 GG is our MVP for the season on Jolly Roger's Black Pearls. Second in kills, second in CS per minute, second in rating for ADCs, a very reliable option who will always have gold in the belt and will be scaling up. Congratulations to them. The runner-up is the Dino. Meanwhile, Atomic Rider in the top lane, Solarum in the mid, third in the overall league rating. Meanwhile, the Dino on CB Winsome had a 69% kill participation percentage. Very nice, well done there. And then support Romeo for Jolly Roger's Black Pearl was also voted the most likely to go pro in our superlatives vote, and good reason why. Second in KDA in the league, and the first among supports, as well as the third in assists per minute. So congratulations to everyone involved in the Gladiator League, and as well as our second and third team All Pros. But moving on, we've got Titans Berserker League up next, and congratulations to So Easy, or is it Soez? Honestly, I've heard both. But either way, congrats to them on the side of Conduit Esports first rounded. The highest first blood kill participation in the entire league. Went a really long way of getting them that award. It feels very impressive, especially with the first blood announcement, and you see So Easy popping up every single time. It feels like it makes sense. The runner-up is Glowing Kraken. They're in the mid lane on Onyx Wrath, best team in Group B in the regular season, as well as T-Gas 20, also coming from Onyx Wrath in ADC role. Meanwhile, Nation in the jungle for Conduit Esports first rounded as well as the first in kills per minute. Going a really long way. Again, the announcement for kills do so much to getting into the minds of your opponents. If you see Nation appearing the most often, makes sense why you'd have that arrive in. Meanwhile, in support, last but not least, we have Illicit Raven, also from Conduit Esports, first rounded, getting the most assists per game out of any support in the league with over 10 games played. Now, congratulations to everyone in the Berserker League for giving us an exciting season so far. But moving on into the Titan Olympus League. I guess I don't need to specify Titan every single time. Either way, NBK in the mid lane for Elysium Midnight. Third in kills per minute. First in first bloods. And so far in the league. Bit of a mouthful there, but yeah, again, First Blood's the big announcement, goes a really long way to cementing your mind and your opponents, and did that to get into the MVP. But our runner-up in the jungle is OP Kill Switch for Dorado Gaming Omega. A pretty respectable second runner-up for the MVP award, getting the highest First Blood participation percentage in general. Again, such a mental way to cement yourself into the minds of your opponents. But rounding out the rest of the first pro all team in Olympus League, Spoobert in the top lane, also for Dorado Gaming Omega, had the most solo kills in all of Olympus League. I love solo kills. speaking first-handedly. And so Spoobert, very respectively, gets that award for the top lane. Meanwhile, Koopa on Iceborne White in the bot lane, as well as It's Just Haya for Elysium Midnight. Funnily enough, had 2 solo kills as a support this split. How do you get 2 solo kills as a support? Ask It's Just Haya, because I don't have the answer for you. They managed to pull that off. But congratulations to all of our participants in the Olympus League for putting on a really good show for us there. But moving on, we have the Eternal League up next, in which Humor wins the MVP award for Phantom Troops Machi. He's the first in kills and the 4th overall league rating in the entire league. Again, kills. You look at, it's always the one we look at after the end of the game when you look and you say, wow, it was a 17-2 whatever. And it's so, they're so memorable and they go a long way to securing that spot. Our runner-up this time around, Chaser from Elysium Luna, our first in CS per minute in the Eternal League, and also the first amongst ADCs in gold per minute, 5th across the league. Again, being a very reliable late game threat, being able to scale up on ADCs with how much gold income, always a reliable choice. But rounding out the first team All-Pro, Super Saiyan in the top lane for Phantom Troop Machi was awarded it this time around. Meanwhile, in the jungle, God's Glory 7 also for Phantom Troop Machi. One thing notable about them is they're second in damage per minute and the highest amongst junglers in the league. Meanwhile, in support, you know the kid. It's you know the kid for Phantom Troop Machi. First in vision score per minute, highest rated support in league rating, and also the 5th in assists per minute across the entire league. Entering that spot. So as we move on to our final league, it is Immortal League, and our MVP is YSKM for Syndicate SYN win, Syndicate win. Either way, they're in the top lane. Will be taking MVP this time around. Meanwhile, wait, no, I got that. My notes were incorrect. You can see it written on the screen. Fun part about doing it live, it is actually Branny Fan. I apologize, that is my mistake. 100% on me. Anyway, moving on, for Drop Dead Gaming is our MVP this time around, and well, first in gold per minute. You see these stat lines a lot with the best ADCs across any league, but also the first in quadra kills as well as pentakills in the league this time around. Meanwhile, the runner-up, Mellow O-Ray, also, well, actually not also on Syndicate win, but is on Syndicate win. We have first in KDA and first in kills per minute, 3rd in overall league rating. And again, kills, always memorable, especially coming from the jungle. Mellow Ray getting the award there. And so meanwhile, YSKM, we move back to them on Syndicate win. Was the top laner, first team All-Pro in Immortal League. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Neversaw for Drop Dead Gaming, alongside with his fellow ADC from Drop Dead Branding Fam, getting the 2nd in kills and the 2nd overall league rating in Immortal. Meanwhile, in supports, Fails from Drop Dead Gaming will take the award for first team All-Pro this time around. 2nd highest KDA among supports, 2nd in vision score along the league. And that will be all of our first team All-Pro awards, but we saw the superlatives earlier. We mentioned Romeo, most likely to go pro. But one thing that piques my interest with this list, one thing that I saw is if you look at least likely to int being Yomi, but also most likely to win lane or lose game being Yomi. Clearly, Yomi has a certain fan group that and a very fun playstyle that gets those 2 awards. But best member, Notorious TLP Fashionista Alf. And meanwhile, most likely to die for award is not Dilly. It's actually me. I would be most likely to die for award. This is just how it is. But I guess 2nd most likely to die for award is Dilly. Then meanwhile, most likely to drift the Rift Herald, singular bred, getting his driver's license certified. We'll expect to see you in Formula One next year, taking Lance Stroll's seat at Aston Martin, hopefully. But continuing on, most likely to face Checa Bush, again, also me, but second most likely, according to our superlatives draft, is actually Pink Penguin. It's all right, brother. I've been there. You and me both. Or I guess sister, non-binary, sibling, either way. Moving on, most likely to meow in comms, however, maybe Noble Bark. Bark? Barq. Either way, moving on. Most likely to crash out. Flop, honestly, fitting name for most likely to flash out. Flash out? Crash out. Save your flashes to get out of sticky situations, kids. You generally do want to flash out of situations and not crash out. Moving in, most likely to flash in place. Our superlatives rounding out tonight. Finny. I don't know if I should say congratulations for that. Definitely doesn't feel like a congratulations, but Finny, you've been voted most likely to flash in place. It happens to the best of us. I've been there before. I completely understand. But that is all the awards we have to hand out for tonight. Thank you for tuning in and having our award ceremony. And I think we're going to send it over to close out. Actually, nope. I've been given the instruction to close out Titan After Dark. Last one of the season. So, make it a good one. Have a good night, everybody. And enjoy the off season. We'll see you soon.